start the audio. I just need 10 seconds silence in the very beginning to get the room sound, and then I'll throw it to you, and you're good to go.
Good start. Yo, yo,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yay, yay.
What number is this?
This is 28.
Shit.
28.
Okay.
Niggas old.
28. So, unpopular opinions.
Unpopular 2-8, baby.
Unpopular opinions, episode 28.
28.
You know,
Oh, it's
you
lit.
stupid.
It's lit.
Yo, man. I feel like it's been a minute since we've been back in the studio.
It's been a while. You
Yeah.
done won 2 playoff games since the
Hey,
last time we been
man.
here. Niggas is champions now.
Hey, we champions in here.
Word up.
But yo,
To XL, man.
word, shout out to XL, middle school,
XL Lions, baby.
XL Lions. We had our championship game this weekend on Saturday, and we actually played against our our sister school.
Yeah.
And so it was a big day for our network. We have 4 schools within our network, so it was definitely dope to have my kids part of that.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the funny thing is, to give it context, like I've been teaching at this school for about 3 years. Next year will be 4 years. And when I got there, prior to me getting there, they didn't have a basketball program or any type of sports program.
Oh, shit. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so to bring that to the school and going through the process of building a program, because the first season we went 1-8.
Wow. You was the coach and
Yeah, I'm not used to losing like that, B.
Yeah, 1-8
Like
is
I've been coaching now 10 years. Like I've won 2 chips coaching kids, but like and during the playing like coaching, like we've won.
Yeah.
Like we would get smacked.
Mhm.
Like one game we lost 67-15 or 19 some.
God damn.
Yo, I felt like
That hurts.
yo, it was bad. Yo, it was crazy, bruh. And then the second season we played better. You know, we had better, like more committed players. And the thing is, like coaching and teaching middle school kids and try to teach them discipline and certain like things, it's difficult, yo.
Hell yeah.
So the second season we went 5-5, and actually the team that we lost to get into the playoffs was the team that we beat in the championship yesterday.
Oh.
So it was kind of like poetic justice.
justice.
You know what I'm saying? And the coach, I know, so he was cool with it. Like it was dope to keep it in the family, but it was this year's team. This was like the best team by far that I've coached in the school. And this team is up there as like one of the, funner, if that's a word, funner groups to be around.
It
So-
was one kid.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, of course. I don't know their names,
Yeah.
but it was a rebound towards the end, and it was a pretty
Yeah.
close game. I was like,
Yeah.
for one of the smallest kids,
Yeah.
and he ran and got that rebound. I think he wears number 7.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
my
it
boy.
was- Yo,
That's my boy.
yo, shout out to him, yo.
That's my
He's like
guy.
the smallest kid on the court and fought for that rebound and got
Yo.
that possession back, and then I scored in that same
He's-
possession. Like he's the man right now.
He is like that kid. And the funny thing is with him, I told him like, listen, you ready to close out? Because he's my closer.
Okay.
Go in, and he does all that.
Yo,
he does the dirty work.
all the dirty. He was not scared to go in there.
Yeah.
Some of them kids bigger than me, yo. Like
Yeah.
dead ass. Like,
Yeah.
and he was tiny. Like this
Mhm.
kid, he was the smallest kid on the court.
Yeah.
And went in there, stuck his nose in there, and got that rebound, yo. Shout out to
And
that kid.
shout out to him, man. It was
That's what's up.
it was dope. Yeah, Raine.
I know.
Yeah. I was waiting.
I'm sorry, man.
You know what I'm saying? But
I wanted to be there.
Ray
I was there in spirit. Yes.
Like, don't
What?
Yes.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I was there in spirit.
Bro, I'm out, man. Y'all niggas tripping.
nah, but it was a great game. I got the monkey off my back because I coached in the championship game 4 years ago at the same league, and we lost in overtime. And I was thinking once homeboy hit that 3 to make it
Yesterday,
20.
number
yeah,
11. Yo, it was crazy, but it was like 1 second left.
Yeah, it was 1 second left, but it was running time. I'm like, yeah, I better not do this to me again, man.
Yo, word, they was up 4, and
Yeah.
son hit a step back 3 to make
Yeah.
him down 1 with like 1 second left. I was like, oh
Aw.
shit.
Yo.
And
Yeah,
I
but
thought
it
they
was-
called the
That was a
foul
good
on the
game.
3. Yo, it was a
Yo,
good
we
game.
played in consecutive games where I I needed like a medic there because it was crazy. Like the game before that, to get to the chip was a game that we lost to. A team that we played, we lost to during the season, and we lost to them by 1. That was a up and down game. That was an intense game. Every game that we've played, everyone says it's like a high school, college feel. Like the way we play.
It was intense.
Yeah.
Like you could see
Yeah.
the weight of the situation on the kids. Like I remember feeling like that. Like your body just feels heavy because it's so much like pressure on you. There's grown ass adults yelling. The crowd was mad close to the court, so it feels like everybody's on top of you. Like I remember them days, man. That shit was dope. That shit was dope for them to pull through that.
Yeah, man. And I pushed them to that point because I'm like, listen, if you guys want something, you got to fight for it, and it's not gonna be given to you. So, shout out to my XL Lions. You know, it was a dope experience.
Go Lions!
You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna be hype in school tomorrow.
Yo.
You're not gonna be able to
Yo.
tell them shit tomorrow. when they
Shout
get-
to them. You know what I'm saying? And in commemoration to that, it was just, you know,
Really, this is the theme?
you know, you know what I'm saying? We there.
Yeah.
Just a feeling. That's all I can play. So,
word.
can't play that much. But yeah, man, it was dope. It was dope. So other than that, that was pretty much my weekend. Coaching is stressful, yo. You ever
Yeah, I
coached
bet.
before? Well, you've taught,
I've taught.
and that's stressful all in itself.
I was like, I don't know how y'all do it. I still have a genuine love for it. Like I
Yeah.
want to do that in my
Yeah.
latter years. I want to teach at a
Yeah.
college. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But maybe at college is different. I think.
yeah.
But teaching like that age level, because how old are they? How old
They're
are your team?
between 10 and 13.
Oh my goodness.
What was your experience like teaching there?
It was sort of like they have one thing. They have a very, very low attention span. So
Yeah.
I don't remember having like. I guess I probably did, but I'm like, as a 10-year-old, that was my attention span like this. Like,
No.
I think it's worse for them though, living today, like
This
with
era.
Twitter and the, Vine and the
Yeah.
quick. It's like that quick, like 4-second quick, like so they don't
and
even.
some of them do the most when you lose their attention.
Mm-hmm.
They just start. Performing in class, in the middle of class, they just get up out of their seats and walk to the other side of the room. Hey, where you going? Can you get back in your seat, please? Like, and then it was just like, what is going on? Then I realized that they respect authority though to a degree, so you have to like kind of like you really can't just be nice. The niceness has to be earned.
Yeah.
Like they have to earn the niceness, kind of not to be like mean or strict. I'm saying, but you have to like because they'll run with it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's a walkover or whatever. You know?
You gotta earn these jokes.
Right. So I had to like a couple of times just kind of I was never really lax. They keep you on your toes. I will say that.
Yeah.
But what I love the most about it is that which showed me that it they did learn. So I like when they show me that they're actually learning
Mm-hmm.
and that and that I made it fun to do that.
Yeah.
I think that was my biggest thing was trying to like be consistently entertaining, I guess. Not entertaining, but like keeping their attention.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, them having fun and also learning. So I always would feel good if I asked them something back. Even 2 weeks later, they'll bring up, old songs I brought up or whatever, so that was the best part.
How
like
many
seeing it.
kids was in the class when you were teaching? Because that's one of the things that I always look at. Like, because my classes was like 31 kids, 32 kids. Like, I think that's unfair to
Whoa,
ask.
that's a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's unfair to ask any adult. There's no one person that can look after 30 kids. Like, you're just not going to have
I got
everybody's
lucky.
attention.
Mine was like 10 to 15.
See, that I think is acceptable. And it's funny because when I went to college.
But it's after
like-
school, so it's also different too.
Okay, yeah, but still, even though like the after school group, it'd be actually the after school groups would be more. It'd be
More
40,
normally.
50 kids in
I
one
had,
person.
10,
Like,
15. I don't know what I would do with 40, 50
yo,
kids.
how can you keep all that
I
attention?
would have to be like, I'll be cracking the whip.
You gotta be Superman.
10 rows, 10 you
gotta
know,
be
about
military.
face.
Like, yo,
Yeah,
word.
like
like
About
when,
face.
when I went to
Yes.
college and like people started bringing like school pictures or whatever, like going to other people's rooms, you see school pictures and shit. Like I'm seeing people's like class pictures and it's like 8 people in the class. Like, I'm roasting. Like, you was in special ed? Like, I'm not there. Like, nah, it was 8 people in my class. Like, people from different states and shit. I'm like, 8 people? It was 32 of us in the class. I'm like, you dead ass? You was in. And I'm starting to see, like, this, they're like,
Well, it
only
depends
some New
on the
York
school,
shit.
'cause
Like,
my in 6th grade. But my school. I had a private school, so it wasn't really that many. It was more like
my shit had
15.
My shit had
20.
26 plus every year. Every year from
High school,
first grade to
was more, I mean, junior high school was more people, more kids.
My shit was always around 30 plus. Like, I remember being in classes with 33 kids, man, for one teacher. How can a teacher do that? And, like, a lot of times they're not even from the community, so, like, you know, it's even harder for them to, like, relate to the kids. But
I've been speaking of which, though, I don't know. Like, I've been seeing a lot of like really disrespectful things from kids to teachers, like the past 2 weeks, like videos going viral.
Yeah.
Of just like stuff that's just out of line.
I mean, middle teaching in general, it takes a different level of patience, and it's just like
definitely takes patience.
Yo, I mean, getting into it. I mean, to your point, to you bringing up the video, it's like I didn't see such videos, but I know of videos.
He snatched the wig off.
Yeah, but I know of videos where kids violate. Yeah.
I don't know what I would have clapped him. It's like I'm playing. But I'm like, what?
No way.
Yes, he did.
What did she do?
She just was like, she was chasing him.
Like, it was a black woman and a black kid?
Mm-hmm.
Was she like a substitute?
She was a little bit older. I don't know. But either way, that's too much.
I mean, not to say it, I'm just saying, like, because I'm just speaking of, do they have that rapport where they can do that?
Ain't no rapport with no adult where you could just snatch one.
I'm not going to hold you. I've seen it.
You've seen what?
At your school?
Excuse me?
At your school?
I've seen it at a school.
You seen somebody, and they had the kind of rapport where a student could rip somebody. I don't
Not
know
to
no
say that
woman
they can,
that has
but
a rapport with anyone that could rip their wig off. Like, I don't know a woman that wears a wig where anyone could just come up to them and rip it off and it's okay.
That's a fight.
Period. Yeah, period. Like, there's no person that could do that.
Yeah, it was one of those things where the student took her piece off, and yeah.
And it was
what
cool.
happened?
Like, it was cool.
It was and it was cool, and I was just like, nah.
It was cool?
This was a black woman?
Yeah, yes.
What do you mean it was cool?
Like, they, you know.
She didn't react to it?
Nah, she didn't react like.
So the kids started laughing, of course.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And it was just weird for me, because it's like, yo, you violating. Like, that's crazy.
So he just gave it back? I don't understand.
Yeah, she just gave it back.
A girl did it?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Black women that I know.
So it was like, okay, this is what we doing now?
Rip one of my aunts.
She didn't reprimand. She didn't.
Nah.
Nothing?
Nah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, to that, like, it's just
wow.
Well, this woman didn't either. I mean, she ended up chasing him out. He ran out the room with it.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, that's just like.
I would beat my kid's ass.
Right.
I would beat my son's ass if they told me that. I don't care how much disrespect this person tolerates, whatever. Maybe you talk in class, maybe you do whatever. But there's a video of you ripping some woman's wig off. I'm gonna rip your ass off. You ain't gonna have no ass when because that shit is gonna be done for real. And call BCW or whatever. What do they call it now? I still call it BCW. Yeah. That's what my aunt used to call it. Call whoever you want.
They used to call it BCW.
Yeah, BCW. I still
for like a hot minute, I thought it was a wrestling league for kids.
Nah, I knew BCW because they used to
didn't
mention
know
that shit all the
BCW.
time.
What?
I thought it was a wrestling club for kids. Listen, man.
Biddy Championship.
Yeah, I thought, why am I not going? Why can't I be there?
Nah, you ain't want to go to BCW, bro. Trust me.
That's what I thought.
That shit was a super threat in my family. Like,
yo, that's crazy. But I mean, to stick to education somewhat, to transition. What are your thoughts on this college admission scandal?
Wow.
Becky.
Yo, the memes when they had all the people in Full House in the car, they going
in the beginning,
going
when
to bail out Becky.
Bro, apparently,
Aunt Becky.
Like, my first question when I heard it was like, where the fuck did Aunt Becky get $500,000 to bribe somebody with. Like, not saying she don't got $500, but $500 bribe. And
Yeah.
apparently, like, she's the man on one of them channels. Hallmark, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
she's
But why
she
would you
was like
think
the
she had
champ.
money? She was
From Full House, I think she had 500 racks to just bribe somebody to be like, like having
yeah, but that's
500
long money. I mean,
yeah.
Full House.
television money is I mean, a series that's popping, that's big money.
I don't know, but she was like a secondary character. This was like 30 years ago. I didn't
But
think she had
she was still
500,000
valid
now.
on that show.
You're
Yeah.
bugging. People eat, and plus it's syndicated.
Yeah.
Anybody who, if you had a show that's like 7, I mean, how many years that show had a run.
That was my
Any
child.
show that has a run, you still eat off of for the most
I
part.
don't know, man.
Depending on the contract,
Fucking Willis was broke as shit.
because he smoked crack. Like, what was he
Exactly.
doing?
What you talking about? Willis?
That's different.
I don't know, man. I just ain't think Becky had 500 racks to be bribing people. And that was like, damn.
She definitely has that. Not only
Yeah.
that, her husband
I didn't know
Is-
that.
is-
That's another thing.
is
that I didn't
Massimo
know.
or Mosimo.
Yeah,
How you pronounce that?
yeah.
Mosimo?
The clothes people.
You used to wear those T-shirts.
Mosimo, yeah.
Oh,
husband. Yeah.
I'm not even gonna try to say it.
Mosimo.
Massimo, yeah.
That's his
Yeah.
actual name, and
Yeah, I didn't know
that's
that
where they
either.
got it at too.
And that's pretty much.
And
there you have
she
it.
getting
That's
money
where she got it
consistently
from.
off of the
Hallmark.
Hallmark
I didn't
channel.
know that. Those are two things that people put me on, the Hallmark and her husband. And I was like, oh, because I'm like, Becky got 500,000. Goddamn, like.
So what does that say to the kids though? About the kids? Like, I mean,
Well, it says that they're not that smart, actually, since you had to, like, you thought you had to do that. And I feel like it kind of like, I feel like they could have just paid to, like, I don't understand. First of all, let me ask a question. The USC is not an Ivy.
no.
USC, nah. USC ain't
So,
Ivy
I
League.
mean, she couldn't get into school? Like, I don't understand.
USC is pretty tough though. Like USC is a top school. Like it's not Ivy League, but it's one of the top schools in the country.
It's not tough to get into. Like, you couldn't pass the SAT?
Nah, just passing the SAT don't get you in. And then even if you meet the requirements,
Yeah.
you still don't necessarily get in. Like they could say like you need 1,200 SAT such and such to get in, and that just allows you to even apply. But you still don't automatically get in if you have that.
That's
You know what
any
I'm saying?
school.
Like,
I'm saying
so-
that they had the money to pay for an education.
Yeah.
She could have paid. You had to bribe. I don't think it was that serious.
Nah, USC is like that, yo.
Is it?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Like film
What's a
school and
comparable
all
school
that.
to
It's
to
up. It's,
USC?
it's UCLA, USC, North Carolina, Duke. It's in that realm of schools. Like
Stanford.
Okay.
yeah, nah.
No,
it's-
Stanford's a small Ivy.
Stanford is Ivy
small
League.
Ivy,
Yeah.
USC, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm far removed. I mean, USC, is not so. I feel like you had the money to pay for school. Like
It's
that means
hard
that
to
that
get
means that
in.
she couldn't. No, because after that, it is a money thing. After that, a lot of people like they could have easily just went like networked and schmoozed and did that as opposed to like paying, bribing someone. That brought the real issue is that her daughter or their children were not taking the test. That speaks
Yeah,
a
it was
lot
something
to that.
Like
so, so you weren't even smart enough to take a test. It's not about smarts. I'm just saying, like, you couldn't even take a test.
They like did something with the SATs, right? Like they took it at their house or something. They had someone else take it for them. That's what I heard. I don't know the
that's
exact,
the whole process.
Yeah.
With them with one in particular, it was a guy though. They had someone go and take the test for them. I guess the ID. I guess you don't need. I don't know something with the ID. I guess he
Yeah.
passed for him. I don't know. But with her daughter, I'm bringing her up. I'm saying like the bribe. I just don't. I feel. Maybe I don't know.
It's
I feel
hard
like
to
you
get
had
in
the
them
money to.
schools.
First of all, 500,000 is the education itself,
Yeah, but
or less. I mean,
but
more
on
than the
top of
education
that,
itself.
but that's under the table. This
No,
500
I'm
racks
saying
under
that
the table. Like,
I'm saying that USC is like 200,000. Like I just looked up USC for a master's, a business master's was 200,000. So I'm saying they had 500,000 is already paying for school. That makes no sense to have to like.
Yeah, but if
What do they-
you ain't
this
in,
is- this is-
then it's like you got to
So-
get in
Nah,
first.
Nah.
So to act.
That's like how pressed are
Yeah.
you? That's like really hard pressed. I
So
feel
to
like.
give more context of this story, or allegations along with the story, the following colleges are under investigation: USC, the University of Southern California, UCLA, Stanford University, Georgetown University, Yale University, Wake Forest University.
These are not hard schools to get into. I'm
University of Texas at Austin.
sorry. No, I know people that. I'm saying
and
that
the University of San Diego.
These are tough schools, man. These
They're
are
not.
top schools.
They're prestigious schools.
I would
It's
say
hard to get
Stanford
in.
would be difficult because then you just say that's
Georgetown is. I'm not saying it's not hard to get into. I'm saying that this is what I'm trying to say. The money, all you have to do, like outside of that, the money that pays for the education.
But she paid for the scholarship too, though. So remember, with her daughter, with Becky's daughter, she paid to get her on the rowing team and get a rowing scholarship, and she never rowed before.
No, that
So
was
I
the
guess-
whole scam.
so I guess that's the whole-
They
They
use
used the
sports to get them
sports,
in.
Yeah,
That's how
but
they
what
got
I'm
them
saying
in.
is, but what I'm saying is that would pay for the education because you would be on scholarship. So if I give you $500,000 on the table, it's like boom, the $200,000 for the education.
Yeah.
Pardon me, plus the $300.
No,
for,
I
you
get
know,
that. What
give me
I'm
in,
trying to
do my
say
thing.
is
Yeah.
that they had the money to pay for an education.
Yeah, but if you
They
can't get in, like if you dumb as shit and you got $1 billion, that
that's
don't
what
mean nothing. Like you got to pay to get in. Like you got to like schmooze somebody to be like, yo, huh? Because remember, there's a video of the girl like, I don't even care about school. I'm just going to party. Like
That's her.
Yeah, she don't give a fuck about like, she don't give a fuck about school.
But that's my point. Maybe I'm not making my point right. I'm saying that they had the money to pay for an education. Period. Like most, I'm saying that.
But because you have the money, don't mean you could absolutely get in. Like I could be the dumbest person in the world and win the lottery. That don't mean I could go to Yale tomorrow. Yale gonna be looking at my
Yale,
shit
no,
like, nah, you bugging.
no, but USC,
USC's up
no,
there.
son, I'm sorry.
telling you, it is.
No.
It's a top university
What
in
school
the
you went to?
world. Seton Hall.
Okay.
I had very good grades and I got put on a waiting list. Like I had to do a interview, like go and do it. Like it's mad hard to get into these schools. Like it's so many people and it's so little space. Like we don't realize that. Like
No, that's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to say that her daughter must have just been failing in high school. There's no way that with that amount of money that she couldn't have taken the test to get into a good school and they pay for her education. That's what I'm saying. There are people that get accepted into a bunch of different colleges and don't have the money to go. You mean to tell me that she couldn't get because it's not only your SAT, it's your sports, like how social you are. You know, you could write, you could do a bunch
but
of
if you
different
can't
and have
do none
money.
of that, but if you have the money, but
That's
you
what I'm
can't
trying to
do
say.
none
That's
of
what I'm
that, it's
speaking
like,
more to. I'm saying that really, so she didn't. So what? Your children, they didn't like. What did they do in high school?
I'm rich.
That's my point.
They did rich kid shit. There was never a point where emphasis was put on my education or being smart because I'm fucking rich.
But you also got
You know,
think,
she
That's
was on
not
Becky
right.
30 years
That's
ago.
not true.
but we also got to
She
think
said
about
it in the video.
we also gotta
like,
think
she
about
don't care.
She said it
Yeah.
after being in school, in college already. She didn't care. Most college students don't care. College is an experience. You have to like be prepped and know that while you're there, what you're there for. Like I went to school. I'm not. All I'm trying to say is that I don't know. I'm just saying that for her to be in like she literally had to be failing all her classes for her mother to feel like that she had to bribe to get into USC.
Nah, just passing don't get you into USC, man. I'm telling you, like that's a
No, I
big
went to
time
Temple. It's not so
school.
much so far removed. I'm saying like that implies to me that she didn't do shit in high school.
I went to SUNY Purchase.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying. Y'all,
I'm
y'all
saying
named
that
some
I'm
pretty
saying
cool
that
schools.
they're so hard pressed to make like this is like the primary example of how people are so pressed to like be looking like they're doing something and they're not doing something. That's my point. So I'm saying that really you're saying that they're rich kids. All right, there are rich kids that their parents still pay for their education. Like you don't have to go through the extremes of a scam where you literally have to fake sports. Okay, so when she got into the school, did they not think that they were going to get caught at some point?
Yeah,
She
when you gotta
can't roll.
play
The other guy
eventually, yeah.
cannot play soccer. Like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
this is my point. And then not only that, you're claiming that you have these grades, so you're just going to go to school and just fail?
Probably pay people to take the test and shit too. Probably would have been the same shit. She had people, people get to school and have, you got money. She and Becky daughter, she probably would have had somebody doing this shit for
So
her.
that's what I'm trying to say,
Like-
that their children must have just been like failing high school.
I don't know. It's maybe
Or doing the same thing, or they're paying kids to take their tests in high school. Because I'm thinking about all the kids who get into schools with borderline grades or decent grades
don't think
and don't
nobody-
have the money.
I don't think nobody's getting in USC with borderline grades or decent grades. Like USC.
You think never
film
before?
School, I don't
Not
think
With
even
the
so.
money?
Not even athletes.
But see, that's a difference.
No, that's why it was a
Athletes,
scam
you
because
getting
athletes
paid.
get.
Like, if you a
That's
top
why it was
athlete,
smart to do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like that
That's
goes
why they
without
did
saying,
that.
But like USC Film School is like the top fucking film school in the world. Like all the fucking top people. You look that shit up, bro. Dead ass. Like
Really? I didn't know that.
I
My
didn't know
boy
that.
Luch,
I
my
didn't know
boy Luch moved from Brooklyn to LA, and he lives in LA right now. And him catching a student film from USC was huge. Like, and he like went to college, like graduated acting, all that shit. Like him being in a USC film school student picture was like, yo, bro, I'm in USC. Like, I can't think of the people right now, but I think what's the dude, the white dude that did the funny, damn, I forgot the one that's with Seth Rogen a lot. That did the interview with Seth Rogen.
James Franco.
James Franco went there. Like, if you look a bunch of the people, like a bunch of the prominent people from Hollywood right now from USC Film School, like that shit is a big deal.
Yeah,
like
man.
you remember Lionheart, Reggie
Yeah.
Bush, and all them. Like
So you
that
mean
shit
to
is
tell me
a
you think that
huge
everybody
school.
in USC deserves to be there?
Hell no, I think a lot of people is rich kids and niggas that don't.
That's
the
my
people that's smart.
point.
But you paid, they all paid. Is what
They
I'm
didn't
saying.
bribe,
Yes, they
though.
did. They didn't
No,
get
they
caught.
schmoozed
They
at
didn't get caught. That's the difference. Becky and them got caught. The rest of them did not get caught.
No,
if
they
you ain't
got
have
caught
the
because they did a
grades,
scam. Going to a dinner and donating and doing whatever,
that's the same shit.
not really.
Yo.
They did a scam. They actually had. That's not scamming. That's saying that, hey, if I give you this money, make sure they've been doing that for years.
That's illegal.
No, they've been doing that for years.
Yeah, but people been doing illegal shit for years.
No, but this right here is totally different. This is saying they had an operation where you're using sports
yeah.
to lie and say that this person did all these things. I don't feel like I guess maybe I'm blind. Maybe I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're right. You know, I just don't feel like it's the same thing. I feel like if case in
pay
point, I feel like
somebody
if you
under the
have the
table.
power to, and this could be wrong, but I feel like we don't do that enough. I'm saying if you have the power to hire or to get people into programs or whatever, and
What if tailors were like most financial advisors?
and they and you're paying for it or whatever, I think that's not the same thing as to what they were doing.
I think it's both illegal. It's both. You
See,
giving
bribery
money
is
under
different.
the table. It's just that
Yeah, but
you
it's
was
going
a
towards
part.
the school.
It's just you were a part of a larger scheme where there were more people involved. Whether you
No,
did
but
it
the
with
money's
this guy,
was going to his account.
It's the same shit. Whether
No, but the money, if you're schmoozing,
Yeah.
you're the money is allegedly going to the school. That's the whole point.
Nah, but it's shit like, yo, the person that works in admissions, yo, I got $100,000 for your such and such charity if my kid get in. Like, it's the same shit. It's the same shit like them coaches paying kids, basketball kids, to come to the school. Yo, it's gonna be, mysteriously $100,000 in your account if you decide to go to. Like, you think Zion ain't get money to go to Duke? Come on, man. Shit ain't no game.
You
I
think
know
that's
mad
the same
people that got
thing?
my hell yeah. It's the same shit. It goes both ways. It's just this person got caught. It's like saying, yo, I can't. It's crazy that this
But it's
person
not
was
just
selling
one
drugs.
person. It's a
Nobody
whole.
else
It was
does
a
it.
whole.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just these are the people that got caught. We don't find out everybody else that got caught. Every drug dealer don't get caught. We find out about the couple that get caught, but there's still mad people selling drugs. They just didn't get caught. Becky and them got caught. But that college shit is very corrupt. That whole shit.
Well, I mean, yeah, that is corrupt. I don't know. I guess you're right.
It's so many kids. It's like splitting hairs. All kids got the same grades. Then I got the same grades. Like I said, I'm coming from a classroom of 30. This kid's coming from a classroom of 10. That shit affects the grades. It's so much variables that come into that shit. At the end of the day, the bottom line is the bottom line. Yo, I got $100,000 for my kid to get in here. Or I got $500,000 for my kid to get in here. Okay, boom, you in. Because when you got USC on your resume, your shit is you can write your own ticket.
But it's
I got
also,
a degree from USC. I'm good.
But that and also the name associated with that kid. So it's like, oh, this famous kid's daughter or son is going to the school.
I don't know if Lori Loughlin name.
I
holds
mean,
that
but
much
it's
weight,
in. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, money and also the money that's going on. But I was gonna say too, it goes in part of like the kids not feeling like they're good enough. You know what I'm saying? And also like the parents just using them.
You think the kids feel that way, or the
I
parents
mean,
feel that
not
way?
the kids feel that way. How do I say? Like I was
Looking at her daughter, and you know, I'm making an assumption, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's that's the case at all in that
No.
situation.
I think
She was already set up. This is what I'm trying to say. This is why this makes no sense to me.
no. But the
So
reason,
she had a Sephora deal where she lost because of
Yeah.
this, and
Yeah, this is
Lori
wild.
Loughlin had the Hallmark thing where she lost
Yeah.
because of this. It wasn't even worth it when you have the money to pay for an education.
I
But it's
get
because everybody doing it. You don't think you're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
Like nobody does anything thinking they're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
Nobody who ever got caught was like, yo, I'm about to get caught, and still did it. You thinking, yo, I'm good, and then you
Yeah.
fuck around and get caught, and it's like, oh shit, now I gotta pay the consequence. Like,
But I say not good enough in the sense of like.
I
if
still
you're-
think that there's a line that was crossed with this particular situation.
How?
Then the same line that's crossed with a family donating $100,000 to a charity. I feel like it was more protection with that. This kind of like, I don't think you would get caught in that because it's set up not to be caught. It's like you donate, your child gets in. It's masked.
that's
better.
bogus though. Like, should you get in because you got
that's a
$100,000 to
different
donate, and my
topic. That's a
kid don't
different
have like,
topic,
but that's still illegal. Like, it's still cheating, which is
No, it's
like
not
unethical.
No, I'm not saying shit because I feel differently about that. I feel like people that have power, like I feel like we don't do that enough. You know, I'm saying that if you have the power to, like, yeah, why would I not hire my friend or bring my friend in who I went to school with, who I know is credible, yada yada, and bring him in just because I have the power to do so.
I mean,
So what? Your kid needs to, your kid needs to be in the program, and he doesn't with program. This is what you got to do. I'm not
over somebody that's more deserving though, because
not
that's
over
your
that,
friend's
not
kid.
over them being more deserving. That's another variable, right? I'm saying that's just on the surface. I have less of a problem with that because I feel like that's the way of the world.
Oh no, I agree with you. I definitely
But
think
this
it's the way
I
of the
have
world,
a problem with because I feel like maybe this is where I'm saying maybe I don't know enough info. Maybe you know more than I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving it's levels, right? So yeah, maybe you're right. It's kind of the same thing, but I feel like this is something that this is the way it works. This is how it goes.
Yeah.
This
it's
is not
America.
how it goes. Like it's not. I'm not supposed to like this. I don't have to pay. I don't have to worry about someone making sure that I'm rowing if I'm not a rower.
See,
or bullshit like that. You know what I'm saying?
I think these two kids are different. The kid whose parents whose parents donate the $100,000 to the charity, grades are good enough to get in, and this is just kind of like that extra insurance to get in.
Right.
Lori Loughlin's kid is the kid who never gave a fuck about nothing, didn't do nothing. So I gotta get $500K for you to get into USC. Fuck it, boom. And certain things happen different ways. You're gonna do what you gotta do to get your kids over, and that's all it is. But I think it's
But I
all
feel like in this
corrupt.
situation where we don't know, I feel like I don't think it was any. This is what makes it whack to me. That situation because I don't feel like it was even effort to try.
What do you mean?
I feel like she didn't apply. She didn't do shit. It wasn't an effort. You don't even know what you could have done, what I could have paid for.
when
what
you
money.
rich, you don't give a fuck
But
about
I'm saying
nothing.
that the money pays for the. This is where I'm
But
losing.
you still got to do the work though, kind of like
You gotta
your
do the
moms
work,
could
but
put
I'm
you in the
saying
best schools and do all of that.
$500,000 pays for a great education by itself.
But it don't give you.
That's just crazy to use that for. It pays for the education.
But it don't. That
It
don't
pays
mean,
for both your degrees. It pays for undergrad and master's.
Yeah, but that don't mean that your kid is gonna actually retain the information and try hard enough and do all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I hear what you saying.
This
Like
is
yo,
where I'm losing.
invest
This
a
is why
500,000.
I'm there's a roadblock there for me.
Some kids
'Cause
don't
I feel
wanna
like
do it.
not even I feel like literally right now I can apply to any school. Right,
Mhm.
I feel like I can get accepted, and the variable will be. All I'm worried about is
yeah.
it being covered.
Hell yeah.
So I'm just saying that you mean to tell me really she couldn't just apply to a school and her parents just pay?
That's
I don't
you.
understand that.
That's smart. That actually have the grades to be able to say, yo, I
Not
feel like I could go wherever the fuck I want. This kid who ain't never did shit, who dumb as bricks, who don't got shit, can't
Really?
don't
So she
feel
never
like
even
that.
went to class at all in high school? Like,
You-
come on,
I don't
son.
think you giving yourself enough credit. Comparing you to somebody that just went to class, there's a huge
I
middle
was a
ground
terrible
between
college
that.
student.
But to get into college though,
I was a
to
super
get there-
senior.
But to get there though, your grades probably looked a certain way. I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah,
there
yeah, I
had to
was
be a
great
big-
in high
that's what I'm
school.
saying. So that's what I'm saying. For you to get in the door, once you become an adult and you get to a university, like you got adult shit going on. You can't necessarily sometimes focus on just your schooling, and it's affected. I've seen geniuses that are D students just because life will kick your ass in college sometimes. Like, but
Yeah.
you had the grades in high school to get in. She probably ain't never do shit since fucking
But
kindergarten.
that's
Yo,
where
Aunt
I
Becky Becky's
still
my mom.
feel like you have the money to still do that.
You,
I'm not saying she had to go to a
brain.
community college, but I feel like the money was there because I feel like these colleges care about the money.
Yeah, but she didn't want to go to the community college. She wanted to go to USC.
No, I'm not saying.
So
I'm saying that she had the money to like. All right, if not USC, the next best college in California. Her daughter. She has the money to get into any school.
Any
I
of
feel
those
like,
schools though, you gotta pay that $500,000. You want to go to UCLA? You want to go to Stanford? You want to go to?
You mean
you
bribe?
gotta pay that? Yeah, you got to. And if you don't got the grades, you got to. Like you want that USC degree on your resume that gets you whatever job. Because as soon as they hear you graduated from USC, it's like, oh, you good. We got you. You accepted. So to get that lifetime acceptance, you gotta pay this 500 bands. So come up off it.
that's
shit
that's
ain't-
fact. I guess. All right. I don't know.
A lot of people doing that shit, man. A lot of people.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned like you gave the comparison to how the NCAA works as far as Zion Williamson,
Hell yeah.
and you know what I'm saying like
I don't
how-
wanna-
how like AAU coaches get paid to try to swoon
Hell
or
yeah.
try to get kids to go to respective schools because of their what shoe company they're advertising. So if your AAU team is sponsored by Nike, the schools that are affiliated with Nike were gonna come knocking on your door. So it's hard. It's hard for a school that's sponsored by Under Armour to sway a kid who's getting X amount of dollars being sponsored by Nike with his AAU team. So it's crazy the comparison. However, how that goes into that more, there's this dude named William Rick Singer. He's the person that's like the mastermind behind it. So check this, like Singer was paid roughly $25 million by parents to help
God
their
damn.
children get into schools.
You got caught, bro. You stupid.
So-
I would have been retired.
The fact that
I've been
He got
families,
greedy.
Yeah, he damn sure
Greed
did.
always kills the scam. Like,
the thing was,
like dude,
he was
25 million.
charging between over 150,000 or 200,000. No, I'm sorry, 15,000 35,000 for a test.
Mhm.
So the kids were scheduled to take the SAT and the ACT test.
Mhm.
So he actually was able to get into the system of the people who cover that test
Mhm.
and have the kids take the test or cheat, have the answers.
Yeah, for fucking 500,000.
So he's
Shit
prospected
easy.
to call it this is called the Operation Varsity Blues.
Wow.
That's how it's
Who
dubbed.
Yeah, I heard
snitched?
that.
That's
Yeah.
what I want to know. Who snitched? Because somebody snitched.
Definitely.
That's how the whole shit came out. Who snitched?
He
Who
said
got caught and snitched?
Well, that or they. I think that they were under investigation and that
but this
using the athletes, I feel like that's what fucked it up.
this also speaks to, how difficult for kids who are actually busting their ass to try to get into these schools. Their seats are being taken by the wealthy,
Absolutely.
and that's the fucked up part.
That's capitalism, though.
Yeah.
Man. This ain't nothing.
It said
new.
that this operation is, he calls it like, it's his side door for wealthy families to get their children into top U.S. colleges. So that's the fucked up part. You know
the
what I'm
fucked
saying?
up part is that
That's
they
part
were
of the fucked up
arrested
part.
and we don't see any mugshots.
Yo, we ain't seen no Aunt Becky mugshot.
Where's her
yet.
mugshot?
Nigga seen Cosby blind ass though. We had that shit out.
We seen
the
7,000. We
next
seen
hour.
R. Kelly's a million times. Where's Lori
next
Locke's
hour.
mugshot?
The next
And
hour.
Huffman's mugshot.
The next hour we seen them shits.
Ain't no mugshot.
Word up. Word up.
That's the crazy thing.
America
man.
though, bro. This shit ain't new. I don't be surprised by this shit no more, man. It's capitalism. The dollar is the most powerful thing, man.
You haven't
Almighty
said
dollar.
your favorite line of the week.
What?
What is it? His
What-
money line.
Oh, money line. Oh,
What do I say?
you
I got a
know-
line with it, or I do I just
Yeah.
always
You
word?
say like it's the fuck. It's always a.
I guess it's
know.
all about the money.
Yeah,
but
it's
you
all
don't
about
say
the
that.
money.
You say
Yeah,
something
you say
else.
something else.
Shit,
Every
yo.
show you used to say this is about the money.
The
Fuck,
first couple
yo,
shows.
man. Listen, we live in America, capitalism society, man.
You probably about to say it right now.
Man, if I do, I do. But I know how I feel, man. It
Money's
ain't-
the bottom line. Damn,
the
that
bottom line's the bottom line.
No, not that.
Right, well,
It'll
listen,
come to me.
Listen,
It'll come to us.
that's what it is. Money talks, man. It rules
Ah,
the world.
no,
it
that's
rules
not
the
it.
society. So
I think that's the part that I guess I'm stuck at, which
What?
makes it more fucked up for me.
What?
Is the fact that you got people that could bust their ass to just get accepted and not have the money.
Oh yeah.
That's where I was getting stuck at, because I'm saying they have the money to pay for an education.
Mhm.
So I refuse to believe that they have all this money and their kids don't have a good
Yeah.
education. Like you paid from
Yeah.
kindergarten to high school.
Oh yeah.
Your daughter should be educated.
Because you in the best schools don't mean you was paying attention. Your ass could have been there
Really?
looking out the window. Hell yeah.
I agree
Really
with
the
that.
whole entire time?
Hell
Oh
yeah.
nah, son.
Because your mom's is
I
on
disagree
Becky.
totally.
You getting past. I was in.
Unless she was just
I know you was in class with people that did that shit.
You know that cut school and yes and
Nah,
barely-
not even cut. That was there, but it was not
Y'all
there.
making it seem like this girl has a GED.
Probably.
I know people with GEDs that are fucking geniuses though. That's
No,
the thing,
I'm
like, it
saying
don't
that,
equi-
but
like,
it's different.
you
They're
know,
geniuses, but do they come from wealthy
didn't really
families?
apply themselves. It's just like school wasn't really their thing.
And
like,
that's how I feel
a-
about me in college. I can
you know,
even see that aspect. I didn't
yeah.
apply myself like that. You know what I mean? Like college was more of an experience. Is why it was still a good education. I do feel like I still got out. I graduated and decent. But I'm saying that I refuse to believe that a wealthy family has these children and they're paying for their pre-college education
Mhm.
that they could not get into, at least get accepted. Because I just refuse to believe that. I'm not saying for like top schools where you have to have certain things. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But there are other comparable schools that I feel like really you
What
went
school
to
you think is comparable to USC? Like there's
I didn't know USC was the big dog like how you
it's
making
like
it seem.
that. Yeah, it's like that. Like UCLA and
UCLA,
USC
yeah.
are right. It's and they're equal. They're synonymous. You can flip them back. USC might even be more prestigious than UCLA. UCLA had it like with in the 60s, 70s with Lou Alcindor and Bill Walton and all that. That was the top university. But within the
when I
last
think of
20
U-
years,
UCLA,
USC is higher.
I feel like I'm thinking Georgetown. Is that lower?
That was one of the schools mentioned as well.
Georgetown is, I would say,
'Cause I'm like, she
a
couldn't get into
tier
Georgetown?
lower. I think it's a tier lower. Georgetown, yeah. I'd like to me. I would think it's a tier lower.
I thought
like
they all
under-
equal.
But also, too, I don't think, well, maybe so.
What about Seton Hall?
there are other
Seton
families.
Hall is a tier
Yeah.
lower.
Yeah, absolutely.
But on
Absolutely.
what tier? Is it on the Georgetown
I
tier?
mean, it's both. They're both Division I. So you gotta, but then you gotta split hairs because there's 300, almost 400 Division I schools. So like there has to be tiers amongst the 400.
Yeah.
Seton Hall is a prestigious school. They've won national championships and all that,
prestigious school.
but nowhere near USC. And I went there. Like nowhere near.
It's like a
Not
tier
no
2.
comparison.
It's like a lower tier 2.
I
Is
don't
it?
know, bro.
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
think so.
far removed from college.
don't
You don't
think
think
so.
it's tier?
So what is
Seton
Temple?
Hall.
Tier 3?
I don't think it's
Well,
it's
since
not
you guys
with USC,
have-
like
Cosby affiliated with you guys. I think you guys dropped a couple tiers.
That's out. That's out.
You guys dropped
that
a couple
don't-
tiers.
That don't drop. That don't drop it.
Got
that
the
don't
Jello
drop it.
pudding out of here.
Temple's definitely not Division One.
You know what I want to
Well,
look?
they are Division One.
Are
Temple's
they?
Division
Yeah.
One, yeah,
I was about to
absolutely.
say they like the most losingest damn team.
But what I'm saying is because they're playing against other Division
I don't know why,
I
but I always
schools.
find it funny when you say like shit like that. Like you're losing this damn team.
I
Like, that
mean,
seems-
it
I
was
would like
hard
to
going
know.
to Temple at one point. We never really.
They had
Temple football was
Christmas.
better.
They had Christmas. I want to say like maybe 5 to 10 years ago. What was his name? What was his first name?
I know you're
forgot.
talking
His
about.
last name was Christmas. He's pretty good.
But
went
he
to the NBA.
transferred. He transferred.
Nah,
That name sounds to me. He transferred to Syracuse.
I don't think so, bro.
They had.
Okay, now Syracuse. What level is
Oh shit.
comparing Syracuse to
USC is
USC?
above Q's. And
Yeah.
Q's is up there like the top, but USC
But Syracuse is comparable to Seton Hall.
Nah, Syracuse is above. Syracuse is tier 1 type school.
I would think Syracuse is a bit.
So if Syracuse is tier 1, how is it under USC?
Nah, it ain't tier 1.
Yes, it is.
No, it ain't.
Syracuse ain't
is not up there with USC, bro.
Yes, it is.
Not to me, man. Let's look. What I want to
See,
look
I
up
think of
is
the
the amount
big-
of people that apply
What?
and the amount of people that get accepted to USC every
Bro,
year.
what are you talking about,
So
man?
let's think about that.
What's
'Cause
up?
I want to see
I'm
the
just
amount of
saying
people
it's
that
still a
apply and the
prestigious
amount of people
school.
that get accepted. Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's still like different levels of it. It's like y'all live in New York. All right, you live in East New York or you live in Midtown Manhattan.
I guess okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
y'all
Okay.
both
Okay.
live in New
okay,
York,
okay,
but
okay.
motherfucker
I'm
lives
thinking.
in
all
Midtown
right.
Manhattan.
I
You live
see
in
what
East
you're
New
saying.
York.
I
Like,
see what
it's-
you're saying.
There's
now.
differences, like
Because it just hit. It made me think of like, oh
But
shit.
Syracuse is a-
Diddy's
is a-
son went to USC.
That's what I'm saying.
Snoop Dogg's son went to
Is what I'm
UCLA.
saying. These are those
So
schools.
I get what you're
They
saying.
not like
I get it. Like Jamie
Diddy's son went
Foxx.
there.
Jamie
Fucking-
Foxx is not telling his daughter to go to Syracuse. I
That's
get
what
it.
I'm saying. Now they might,
Maybe.
But,
Why?
They might. But all
Maybe.
of the kids are going. If you were to name everybody's
Diddy's son
kids
went
that
to
go there,
USC though. He also had great grades.
Play football too. Yeah.
He played football and he was a great athlete as well.
No, I'm sorry. Diddy's son. He went to UCLA. Did I misspeak? I think he went to UCLA. Diddy's son went to UCLA.
but what I'm saying is they're almost
Either way.
synonymous. Like it's the
And they
same
in the
shit.
same
It's
conference.
the same shit. USC,
I think.
UCLA, it's up there. It's like
You making USC seem
Yeah.
like Yale or
It's-
Harvard.
I'm not even gonna
but
hold you.
It's
You
right
are.
underneath. No.
You are.
You got Ivy League as far as prestige or whatever.
I
That's
want to
right
go
in
back
your
to
own
school.
ticket.
I want to go to USC now.
That's
'cause of
Ivy
you.
League, whatever. Bro, look, I'm dead ass. I'm
Like
dead
you
ass.
make me like, all right.
Bro, I didn't
Masters
know.
in
Making
USC.
me want- yeah.
No,
I-
I didn't know what it was either until like very recently, within the last 5-10 years. I was like, oh shit, USC is like that. And it's like, yo, bro, it's like that. Remember Reggie Bush, Lionart, all of that shit, all of them like.
But you're talking in terms of sports.
Now I'm talking about everything because like sports is a reflection of how much money and influence a school has because their programs aren't gonna reflect that much success if they're not that big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna be consistently good. You'll get a pocket where you get a bunch of kids going in and you're really good, but you're not gonna have that extended success unless you're unless you're Duke. Every year Duke basketball is up there because it's Coach K. You know they got millions of dollars invested in that program. You know what it's gonna be. USC football is like that. Like, trust me, I didn't know. Look up USC Film School. It's the top film school in the world, yo. Like, all of the people, all of the celebrities, all of that, especially for that like celeb crowd. Like, you gotta go to USC. I'm sure there was like, I
for
gotta
celeb
go.
crowd, I guess that makes sense too.
So 500K, shit. I
But
don't-
500K, what I was saying, that is the education.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can pay for that.
That's
shit.
like I'm guessing
Twice.
if it's a top tier school, then it's probably like probably like 50,000 a year or some shit like that.
But I
Not
don't
even
think.
more. Yeah.
But I don't think all the cases where the kids just weren't good enough or they weren't doing shit. There's 33 different 30 different people in this
Can I have another
investigation.
horse, please?
A horse.
That's OJ school.
Yeah.
What's OJ school? USC.
USC. He went to USC.
If OJ dumbass can get to USC,
That was the best football
think he
player
was
in the fucking
dumb.
country. That was the best
What up?
football player in the country. Nah,
I
we
don't
can't
think
act
he
like
was.
yeah,
that.
I'm just saying, I'm just being funny.
Yeah,
False
he
to
was.
everybody.
He's
guys.
dumb
I don't know.
though.
Yeah, but I don't know how smart OJ is.
Nah, but when you're the best football player in the country,
Oh,
it don't
yeah,
matter.
of
Like,
course.
You go wherever the fuck you want.
That's what it really speaks to the topic of sports versus education.
Or if you're the
That
best
too.
athlete, you
'Cause
going to whatever
No,
school.
but I'm saying that the scam was they used sports to get the kids.
And
Of
what I could see
course.
happening is that one kid that didn't get scholarship being like, yo, how the fuck did this person get a scholarship? My
Yeah.
kid is way better. Hold
Yeah.
on, I'm about to start looking in it, and then start, you pull a thread and then the whole shit come out and the arm and the sweater fall off. That's what I bet happened. If I
No.
was to say, I don't know, but
What up, Q?
Hey, y'all.
hey,
What up, what
Q,
up?
what's
Good
up?
day, good day.
You all right?
Good day.
Yeah.
You
All
chilling?
right, all right. We
It's just been a long day.
Nah, I
You
feel
cannot give me
any advice. You cannot give me.
That's the intro.
That's
know
the
he-
intro.
You know he gonna
Why
start
is
with
that?
you immediately.
Yo, so
Well,
we,
you came in just in time. Yeah, we're talking about.
we talking about the scandal as far as the
With
celebrities.
Aunt Becky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Damn.
The one where Michelle had
Like-
the 2 guns. Like,
Yeah,
we going
yo.
to break out.
I was dying on that, and
I
the one
don't-
they all in the car. They're gonna bail out on Becky.
It's all surface, man, because this type of shit has been happening for years. So if they're not
Yeah.
gonna pull the thread on it all, then it doesn't make sense for them to make a big deal of this. Like to set an example, who cares?
I mean,
So,
it's a story to
not
sell
interested.
clicks and all of that. We're going to
Yeah.
pay
Pretty
attention. We're
much.
talking about it now, but
Yeah.
shit
So
been
you
happening.
probably agree with Reef where you're saying that it's the same thing as parents just like schmoozing and paying
Yeah.
for their kids to go.
yeah, I feel so. Or like using nepotism to get their kids ahead.
And see,
Mhm.
that's what I was
Essentially.
saying. And I was just
Essentially.
saying, I mean, that's what he's saying, and I agree. But where I feel like it's a little bit different, I don't know. Are you anti-nepotism? I'm not anti, even though it's against
See?
us.
You know, here's the deal.
I'm not anti the concept of nepotism.
I'm not anti the concept of nepotism. However, I guess in the state in which it was used, okay, so it's because if you're anti-nepotism, then you can jump into this topic about affirmative action, and then you have to justify why it is that affirmative action matters, right?
Mhm.
And that's why I don't want to say that I'm anti-nepotism, because I don't want anyone to ever call me a hypocrite because I support the
Affirmative
premise
action.
of affirmative action. So I think that the fact that she is paying that like a $500,000 was thrown not toward a tutor, right? But I don't know what that like. Why didn't you just give it somebody to invest in a fucking business? Like I didn't get it. I just don't get it.
But
I guess I don't get it.
I was saying that the 500,000 is the education.
Yeah.
Could that
I don't
could that
understand
number
it.
be embellished? Like, could they be like inflating that just for
Probably.
just to make? Because you know how if they're charging you, then they're always gonna try to make shit look crazier. You know what I'm saying? Like them RICO cases, they'll make it that it's a group of people selling dimes over here. It's a group of people selling dimes, and then they'll say a multi-million-dollar drug ring. No,
And
the
they'll
fuck
call
it
you,
wasn't.
and they'll call you the kingpin
The
of all
kingpin of-
kingpins.
That's
yeah,
true.
but this
Meanwhile,
person
you didn't
doing
even
this,
crack
person doing that.
you didn't even crack 100,000, right?
Yeah, it's 100. That niggas ain't got $100. Like, so I was selling nickel bags. Like, the fuck you talking about? But that's what they try to do. So
Okay.
like, it could not even be 500. That could have been 50,000 on Becky. Like 500,000. What the fuck you talking about? Like, so I don't know.
I guess people are never going to support, like, I'm not going to support it for the advancement of people who are already privileged, right? Or it's
Right.
very difficult for me to just jump and say, like, and damn, that's a big
That's
statement.
the issue. Yeah.
But it's difficult for me to do it, right? So, like, I haven't wrestled with it yet. I don't know exactly how I feel. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. I just think it was stupid.
Yeah.
Just pay for a damn tutor. Like, pay for a tutor. Like, and then
That's
when
what I
you
kept
have
saying to him,
access
like,
and
is it that hard? It's not that hard to. He's
Anyone
saying
can-
it's hard to get into these schools.
I
it's
don't
not
think
that
it's that.
hard.
I don't think it is
No.
that hard. I don't think it is that difficult to get into any of these schools if you apply yourself, right? Now, do not get me wrong. The education system fails people in that it doesn't recognize. I don't think the education system has done its work to advance and find ways to like tackle circumstances of like developmental diversity with like the way that people learn, right? Because I don't want to call it like, I don't think that they're challenges or anything. I think that we just haven't discovered other ways that people learn. And so that in itself is a problem, right? However, when people are capable, when there are no limitations, like I don't get it. Like I understand why affirmative action exists because like that is like there's systemic missed opportunity or misplacement of opportunities or displacement of opportunity. Not opportunity, but look, I don't know. I don't know.
I can't.
I haven't wrestled with it completely yet, and I should have for this exact
I mean,
purpose.
I think
but
you made
Yeah,
valid points.
you made a valid point. There's a couple things too. I was watching it on CNN. You guys remember Drew the Damager? When the sun rises in the east.
J. Rue Damager.
J. Rue the Damager. Yeah, he was on there talking about it, and it was to the point of which it was what I was thinking the same way. He was like, these parents are making their children feel like they're not good enough, whereas you have to pay for their education. And why? And we have African American kids who are fighting just for a seat in those lecture halls, and to the point earlier, it goes to those kids who are well off, who don't have to worry about those type of circumstances.
I don't think those kids give a fuck. I don't think their self-esteem
Me
is
neither.
affected anyway. They don't
Look
give a
at
fuck.
Trump.
They know what it is. Yeah, they know what it
Yeah.
is. I'm great.
He's
Fuck
chilling.
you. I'm
He's
rich.
the biggest damn example of this bullshit.
Word. They don't give a
He's
fuck.
the biggest example.
If
What school
anything,
did Trump go to?
Hell if I know.
they just
But didn't they
said it.
just speak about
They
like
just
him
said it.
doing
I
all this
forgot.
work to like to hide his
Syracuse.
SAT scores
I'm
and
kidding.
some shit like this?
I'm kidding. Shout out.
You said Syracuse?
Yeah, I was kidding though.
But why was that?
Because we
you
mentioned
mentioned
Syracuse
and
earlier.
Brief is making.
It's either USC or die.
is like the top
It's
the
a
top
top.
school.
It's a top university, right? Am I bugging? Like it's one of these
I
top.
know.
Oh, yo, not dead ass. Like look it up.
It's a
I'm
top
so
school,
not
but it's
joking.
no more top than Seton Hall.
Yes,
or,
the fuck it
Yeah.
is. I went to Seton Hall. I'm telling you, it is no comparison.
I'm talking about
So did
just
Michael
as
B.
being
Jordan.
prestigious. Well, because you put me on to the fact that it's like a lot of celebrity kids go there, then that makes
Yeah,
sense. Okay,
yeah.
but other than that, I'm
It's
like
that.
USC.
God,
Is
and
that serious?
I'm telling
don't
y'all,
know.
me being
He's
so
making it-
crazy
he's making
about
it sound
college
like it's
education,
comparable to like Harvard or Yale.
it's right underneath.
I
That's
never
what I'm
studied
telling y'all.
schools like
it's
that.
it's the Ivy League. It's the top, Harvard, Yale, Brown, whatever. Right underneath that is USC. And it could be
So-
the first one right in USC, Duke, North Carolina, UCLA. Those are the only schools
Like I
that
know
are.
there are a
those
lot
are
of
the only
people who
schools that
aspire
are
to go
above.
to those schools, and I remember like watching Saved by the Bell and shit, and like that being a top choice for those kids.
Yeah.
I never understood why though. Like I didn't understand that shit. The first school I got into was Penn State, and I went.
So
Well, Penn State is comparable.
Penn State is dope.
I
Not
don't
even.
know.
It ain't. Like I'm telling y'all, it's you can
In the
count on your
Caribbean, we don't
on
be
your
studying
two
that shit.
hands. Yeah.
It's like
And it's
get
more of a
into
West
school.
Coast
you
thing.
wanna
'Cause
go
it's
to
University
Penn
of
State?
Southern California.
The guy came to the school and told me to apply. That's why.
Shit.
There
It's
you
a
have
dope-ass
it.
There
school,
you have
though.
it.
So he went to university. He went to
CUNY.
Wharton. No,
Sorry.
he didn't go to.
He went to what?
He went to Wharton.
Really?
Did
Yeah.
He went to Wharton Business School.
He got a BA.
Yeah,
in
but he had a
economics.
fucking $1 billion in his bank account by the time he went there. Yeah, he fucking went in. You think Trump ain't get 500,000?
He went to the
again
Wharton
when he went?
School of the University of Pennsylvania.
But I'm pretty sure his grades were shit because the guy the other day, one of them guys who testified
Fuck, Bush grades was shit.
was
when he
saying
went
that
to college.
he did a lot of work
Shit,
to like
shit.
hide his SAT scores or some shit like that.
Yeah, he was a billionaire before. We live in America. That shit is like paid off. Like yeah, Bush was dumb as bricks, but he was in Yale. When your family is the
Bush
Bush
went to
family,
Yale.
yeah,
This
that's what I'm
means- this
saying.
means
And
nothing,
he was-
You
yo.
got money.
This shit means
Yeah.
nothing.
And you got money.
Yeah,
shit
and then
don't
like we
mean
be sitting
nothing.
down here aspiring to go to these damn people's like schools.
Listen,
At times.
And
yeah.
and they say that like most black doctors and dentists go to HBCUs.
Interesting.
So
in hindsight, I
Who's
should have
really-
went to
I wish I would've went-
HBCU.
me too.
I didn't realize until
Howard was
like
right at my back door, and
My
I
sister
didn't
went to
think about
Hampton, and I used to be like, I don't want to go. I went to Hampton, fucking homecoming with my boy. Like 5 years after I got
He was
out of
like,
fucking high school, I
"Damn."
was like, bro,
That's crazy. man.
why did
But
you
that's what I'm
not
saying.
tell me, son?
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not
Look.
like I don't know. I'm not saying Trump is not smart or nothing like that. I'm just
He's
saying
not.
that that's
I don't
my
think he's
point.
intelligent.
He had the money to pay for their education. Like I don't.
How you know he
And
did
he's
the
not,
same
and
shit,
that's
though?
the thing.
He
He's
probably
not even
gave him
paying
five
for an
years.
to a different
education.
level. That's what I'm saying. That
Oh.
they paid. He paid his way in.
He's
To
not
me, I
even
think
paying
it's
for
the
the
same shit.
education. He's just paying for valid. Like he
For the-
paying for the
for the
name.
stamp.
Yeah, because he
Exactly.
ain't educated at
He
all.
might not even win. He might have paid for the fucking for the diploma, for
Probably
the
did.
degree. Like, yo, listen,
You can't do that now. Oh, you can
man, listen,
People have done it.
man, listen.
I would like to
I
believe.
mean,
Bro,
that you-
I
there-
know
athletes have
athletes.
people who take their like tests for
I
them.
know athletes, and I'm
Well,
not gonna
that-
say
yeah.
nothing, who never went to one class, who have never even been to a class, who
Mhm.
the professors don't even know how this person looks, never went to the class, with 3.5 GPAs, never went to a class
Well,
ever.
that came out a lot of times over like
Yeah.
decades.
And these are
of-
people with no money. So you mean my daddy got $1 billion? My daddy got a library named after him in his school, and I gotta fucking come? Yeah, all right. Fuck you think? Send me my shit. Here go my address. Send me my shit in 4 years.
Bet you my
I'll
dad
walk
wouldn't be
across
happy
the-
about that F on my transcript.
Shit, I walk across the stage.
This is my shit.
Keep it about now.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paper boy.
Wow.
I love this shit, dude.
Delivered here. Somebody tell me,
Oh, this the
please.
extended one. This the
I
real
know.
shit.
When they first came
Real
out.
shit.
You know the whole
Everywhere
drink.
you
Oh,
look, everywhere there's a heart. This
Get
used to
the
be
Full
shit.
House all the way the fuck
Uncle
out of
Joey
here.
was my son. I
I
always
never
They
used to
still
watch
they
those
still
shit.
show they have the
You never
Fuller House
watched
now on
that?
Netflix.
I used to just because Full House will come on after Family Matters. I would just after Family Matters. I'm not watching. I never watched it.
Bro,
I
your
think
life
that's
was
why I watched it.
deprived,
Nah,
son.
I
What
was
the
just
fuck?
Family Matters. That's it.
And then what? There was nothing on TV. It was like 8, 9 o'clock on a Friday. What the fuck
I'm
else was
good.
you watching?
I wasn't
Dateline?
watching- It
That's
just
all
never
that was
spoke.
on.
It just never.
Son,
That's
I
real.
watched,
It
I
was
watched
just Family Matters.
TGIF, all that shit, whatever was on.
And then
everything.
remember the dinosaurs? Those,
That used to be
Hell
my
yeah.
shit.
I used to watch that. That was cool. The father used
Yo.
to crack me up.
The
I never
rewatch
watched
value on
that show.
is horrible.
That shit was
I
better
tried
than
to
Full
watch
House
that
to
I
me.
shit
don't
now.
even know what the premise of
dinosaur
the show
one?
was.
Yeah.
Nah, that shit was a dope ass
That
show.
shit
never
was
caught
dope.
my
That used
attention.
to-
That was dope.
The
That
baby
was
used
dope.
to be
Yeah.
funny.
The premise of like the way they became
It
extinct.
was like a working class
Mhm.
and,
family.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the dynamic between like your boss and you. And
It was like the
trying to get, like,
Roseanne.
yeah.
It was Roseanne
I
Dinosaur
never
Farm.
got past.
and almost working towards the inevitability of going extinct because you always knew that's what was happening at the end, and it was kind of like you would see the steps of how shit would, them being oblivious of, just working and working and working, not knowing that,
Damn, now I
next
need
year
to
y'all
find
about to
this
go
show.
extinct. Nah, it
Me
was
too.
crazy.
Go watch it again.
The
Hulu.
rewatch value isn't as good. I tried to
Really?
watch it back again. And I was like, yo,
And
this
you're
shit
like, what the
sucks.
hell
Gotta be
were we
high.
But
watching?
that's why I appreciated it when
like
I
Wonder
used to
Years.
watch it.
The rewatch value for Wonder Years is fucking
What's
torture.
Wonder Years?
Is it?
Yeah. You
I'm
know,
a-
I don't remember. Wonder
They got
Years.
the one with
That
with
was like one of
Arnold
my
and
favorite
Kevin.
shows as a kid.
try rewatching it now.
Nah,
Exactly.
the shit that pissed me off is the beginning. The song is different. It's not Joe Cocker singing the intro. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, I'm turning this off. Like they brought it to Hulu, and I turned it on. I'm like, who the fuck is this singing?
Somebody
Like,
else.
nah, I don't even want to hear this, bro. I'm turning it off. So
Yeah.
I couldn't even get to that.
But yeah, Fridays used to be lit.
TGI was a shit,
But
bro.
Full House, I'm good.
Damn, you really never.
I
watched
never
it?
really I mean, I know You Got It, dude. I know that. Like, John Stamos, like, my sister used to love him. So, like, there was some times when she would dominate the TV, I would have to watch it. But
I was always Uncle
Never
Joey
got into
myself. I always fucked with Uncle Joey.
yeah, that's who John
He was more
Stamos.
pop.
He's
Yeah.
the homie.
Nah, that was
No,
Uncle
Uncle
Jesse.
Joey- Uncle
Uncle
Joey
Joey
the
was Dave Coulier.
That tells you I
That
didn't
was
watch
Uncle
the
Joey.
shit.
Cut
Yeah.
it
I
out.
fucked with Uncle- Yeah.
Told you
Comedian,
not to
cut it out. I
Yeah,
always fucked
The
with
kids
him.
were doing that the other day at the
Oh
school. I don't
my
know where they got it
gosh.
from.
They probably watched that.
Yeah.
And then he
It's
had
on
his own
Netflix.
Somebody
show.
introduced it to them.
It's
now.
on Netflix, I think.
But I wouldn't expect that. I wouldn't
Yeah.
expect for them to be watching it.
And then he got America's Funniest People, I think, after that. Remember they
Bob
had him
Saget?
hosting and shit? Nah.
Oh yeah, America's
Bob
Funniest
Saget
Home
had
Videos.
America's Home Videos, but Uncle Joey had,
Yeah.
I think, America's Funniest People used
I
to
don't
come on
remember that.
before that. Yeah, I was a beast. I used to
Yeah.
fuck with all that
Not
shit.
for nothing, Bob Saget, his stand-up is mad funny.
I don't like
It's
it, bro.
random, but it's
like
funny.
talking about having sex with the Olsen twin, like we get it. You trying to go
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
anti?
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
he drops that
Oh,
all
I
the
didn't hear that
times.
part.
I don't think I want to watch it.
He
now.
tries to be super dark, like to go anti.
What?
like who
anti-
people see him as.
Yes.
Bro,
to
what
go
are you talking
anti-
about,
what was
man?
his name in the show? Danny Tanner. To be
Yeah.
anti-Danny Tanner. He tries to be
Oh,
super
that
dark.
must have been very hard for his career.
Yeah, he comes with the 5 o'clock shadow. He's drinking like, yeah, they're sexy and like, I don't like that shit.
A lot of those
Yeah.
people have become alcoholics, like Screech. He became an alcoholic because it was hard for him to move, or like my assumption is that it was hard for him to like move from the character of being like Screech.
I mean, the person that really transitioned well was Zach.
Did
Yeah.
he? It took him a while though.
No,
I
mean,
not really.
He was always relevant. I've always seen him on TV doing.
What did he? It took him about 10 or 15 years before he came back.
when
bro.
I say
Oh,
that,
that's
I
not the
mean
same
like
person,
he
I'm
was
tripping.
like I guess
No,
controversy
Slater
free.
probably did.
yeah,
Well,
Slater
Slater
was
too.
yeah,
Both
Slater
of them.
translated into.
Well, I say both of them, but they
And
just kept their noses
Kimberly
clean.
Thiessen,
And he still
whatever.
looks good.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen, because
Slater
she's
does.
been on a lot of shows since.
Yeah,
She
That
was
was my
on like a couple
girl.
of like shooting cop shows and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
That was my girlfriend during the show. I felt bad because I didn't really fuck with Lisa, but Kelly was my girl.
No,
I used to
Lisa
like,
was. Lisa was cool.
Lisa Turtle.
Yeah, nah, I really didn't fuck
I
with
like
Lisa.
Lisa.
Tell the truth. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I fucked with the black girl. I fucked with Kelly. I wanted Kelly.
That's
She
your
was
unpopular
cheerleader
opinion.
and shit. Yeah, I'll just keep it real. I don't like to lie.
No,
People like I like Lisa. Nah, I'm gonna fuck with
Miss
Lisa.
Turtle
I
was
wanted
cool.
Kelly.
Miss Turtle.
Nobody like Jessie though. Her big ass. I was like, she's too big.
I thought she played basketball.
I actually really like Jessie because she was really smart.
Oh no, yeah, she was. But
Yeah,
she was
she
too
was,
big.
but
I
she
should be
was-
like,
yeah,
yeah,
she
I don't know if I'm gonna
I'm
be that
so
big.
excited. That was my episode. Y'all know
Always-
that I'm talking
That's
about.
a big bitch.
But then she did strip
Striptease,
tease after
yeah,
that. And
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
She sure
oh
did.
shit, Jessie.
She sure did.
Fuck that,
She
we
did the
switch it
movie
up.
with
Can't picture her face right now.
She ain't saved by the bell no more.
Yeah, nah, I seen
Saved by them tips.
Word up. I seen them titties in that movie. I was like, oh.
Y'all are
Not
a hot
saved by the
mess.
tips.
Hot mess.
I was Jessie. I was Team Jessie after that.
Nah, man, but that's crazy. Aunt Becky going to the big house,
Yeah,
to a fuller house.
Shit.
They wrote
But,
her off the show already.
She is coming with all of them today.
They wrote her off the show already, apparently. Or they let her off the show already.
Oh, she was on Fuller House.
Mhm.
But see, yo, you know,
Wow.
and
She wasn't that big. She was just tall.
who
They,
Jessie?
like, but
I was
look,
a
but you hear how
child.
like,
I was a child. This is 90. I was fucking 4 years old.
but
5
you
years
a grown
old.
man now though.
I'm talking about how I felt when I was a kid.
I
Now,
get
of course,
it.
I would like Lisa Turtle, but I'm talking about liking Kelly when I was 6 and 7 years old.
You
No,
like
but it's the
6
fact that
foot
you call
girls. It's okay.
Jessie.
She was
Big.
mad tall than me. I was like, yo, shit, I'm short, man. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get down with all of that. Listen, she good now though. As soon as I seen striptease, I was
Striptease.
like, yeah, fuck
Hot
Kelly.
mess.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, fuck that.
that's crazy.
A
Bro.
lot of it's funny
Yeah.
to watch like how artists are transitioning now, right? Because it's not a lot of artists that have longevity or like fluidity in their careers.
Yeah.
But like LL Cool J, he's a good example of somebody who's been able to do that. I can't think of too much people from that era though.
I don't think
From that
nobody's done
era?
it like him.
Like-
Ain't nobody
Like the
from his
80s?
era
Yeah.
still around. He's the only one.
Ice Cube.
Okay.
Latifah too.
Yeah.
Oh.
True.
There's a couple people.
But like those are y'all right.
Well, you
Dr.
mentioned
Dre.
LL, that's why I'm going that
Forgive
way.
me,
but-
I went to Family Matters and I started thinking about all the characters on Family Matters, and that's why I was
And then,
like, oh,
then
nobody.
LL had a show too.
Oh yeah, what's
yeah,
the name?
in the
from-
house.
in the house,
Yeah.
I
That
used
was
to
my
like that
shit.
show.
What's
That
her
was the
name?
shit.
Had the
Now she didn't transition well.
I know.
Lord knows.
But she's sick.
Yeah.
And she's not getting and she wasn't getting treatment for it. Probably silly.
Wait,
That's
who?
crazy.
Maya
The
Campbell.
girl, Maya Campbell.
Mike Campbell.
She was
But-
on like a
Maya.
gas station.
Yeah. I think they said she's bipolar,
word.
but yeah, they were.
Yeah.
And what's
a
her name
couple of
from
hot-ass
Family
mess.
Matters was doing porn? Judy.
Yeah.
I seen that.
That shit was wild.
It was crazy.
Feel bad for all them black
Damn.
stars, man. I thought y'all was all gonna be good.
And then Myra passed away.
That was
Oh,
crazy.
man.
But she was
Yeah.
always sick, even on the show, right?
Murder
Really?
Urkel.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that she was sick on the show.
Yeah, she
Lisa
like.
She
had
tra-
Lisa passed away
something.
too.
No, Lisa's still alive. I thought Lisa
Well,
Lisa
was
from
who
still
Saved
alive.
by the
Lisa?
Bell?
The black girl.
Lisa Turtle, she's still alive.
I think she's still alive.
She crazy, but she
The,
alive.
the black girl from
She got
Saved
the
by
same
Bell?
last name as Jason.
Yeah.
That was what's the name's girlfriend
Her last name is Voorhees, right?
on Cosby
Yeah,
Show. Am I
Lark
confused?
Voorhees.
with
Log Voorhees.
No,
Her name.
No, that's
Yeah.
Myra.
That's Myra.
That's Myra.
That's Myra. That's
Yo, her
Myra.
name was crazy.
Lark Voorhees.
Lark Voorhees.
That's crazy.
Only a Voorhees can kill a Voorhees.
Sounds like a Marvel character. It's crazy. Lark Voorhees.
Voorhees is a dope.
Yeah. She definitely passed away. Just passed away. That was
Yeah.
that.
Speaking
There was a
of
lot of
which,
good shows back then.
Avant has 6 months to live. They said.
Is that
No.
real?
Wait, really?
That was real. I ain't
People
even
are
click it.
saying that it's not real, but he did post on his social media that he thanks his fans for supporting him. This, that, and the third. Apparently, he
Really?
has lupus.
Wow. Is it something that he's known that he hasn't taken care of?
No, he's been taken care of. He's been ill for quite some time.
Wow.
I know a couple.
I don't know
people
why
who have
everyone. A
lupus.
lot of people are saying that they don't think it's real, but
The article didn't look very credible, so I just scrolled past it. Like, you know, people.
now I
post
haven't
shit
been
and be
getting
all
it from
like,
a bunch of great sources. But the only thing that sold me was that then I don't know. I got to check. You can check his Instagram. They said that he posted. You know.
Wow.
Damn, hope you get better, bro.
Yeah.
Never want to hear no
That's
shit
tough,
like that.
man. You know what I find irritating? Okay, not irritating. And even Black Lightning, I feel like Salim Akil, like I feel like he's that's what he's trying to illustrate with Black Lightning. I find it weird that there's a lot
It's
of
a
people
dope
from
intro.
Atlanta and the South that have lupus. There are a lot of people from like the Washington D.C. metropolitan area, DMV area, that has multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
Like a lot of that shit just creeps me out. And and I don't find a lot of people like. I need to start looking at the data and just not assuming. But it's just that everyone who I like, there are a lot of folks that I know that have lupus, but a lot of them are like written from the South, and a lot of them are Black. A lot of Black women too. It's just interesting and it's strange, and people already don't talk about Black women as is, right? So it would be nice to be looking at that data, even MS, I have a friend who recently passed away, and she passed away from MS. And DC just has a lot of folks with MS, and that shit throws me off. I don't know. There's something just strange about it.
I think it's a regional thing.
Absolutely.
I think that people used to be like running tests on people. I don't know,
Absolutely.
something
Yeah,
in
I
the
saw
water in
someone
different regions.
Sent me a video today.
That's
I gotta look
interesting.
into it, but that there are like certain bras have like this jelly thing in it that you don't know because they cut into the bra. I guess one of them popped and it had like this jelly thing into it. They said it causes breast cancer.
Really?
That they're selling it in the bra.
Hell yeah.
We wouldn't even
And
know.
and it's probably like bras that are put in stores in
Or
neighborhoods
cheap.
that are like so.
Manufactured by the same guy that sells you the breast cancer medication because these people run the same shit. So it's like one hand washing the other. I'm going to produce the bras that make people get breast cancer.
And
so
then
that
create
you're
the
gonna wear it.
antidote.
And then, of course, that's all
It's
the
kind of
shit
like
is.
the meme I saw. A patient cured is a customer lost.
Absolutely.
It's kind of crazy.
Ugh.
If doctors actually
That's
cured
ugly.
people, they would be put out of business.
Did you guys see there was an article? Well, let me shush. I have to send it first and make sure that it's credible.
You know what I realized? The past couple episodes, you haven't said "forgive me." Interesting.
Since we did the shots.
Since we did the shots, there's no
Oh.
shots here today, so you can say "forgive me."
I don't need to be forgiven yet.
Nah, but
I don't know. I believe when you say shit
Yeah.
like that, though, because everything that any sickness that I think we get is a combination of
Yeah.
maybe something you're eating, something you're exposed to. It's all chemicals.
Yeah.
Everything that we do in our human body is chemical. So if you get in sickness and there's something where people in a certain region, maybe it's a food they're eating, maybe it's something in the air concentration there, maybe it's something like there's a place, I forget where it is, but there's a plant, like the highest homicide rate in the world is this little town that's outside of a plant that produces a certain chemical, and that chemical is linked to making people go crazy to commit homicides. And there's no fucking, like,
Really?
there's no coincidence to that.
Like, and these people know this. Like,
absolutely.
That's why in 20 years, then you'll have something scrolling down on your screen talking about, did you use this? Or like, were you in this area at this time?
Oh.
Like,
Use this soap.
join this class action suit. Like, that's all. But the issue is that we're not, like, we know that, like, shit like this has happened, and we're not proactive about asking questions today about, like, what the hell is going on. Yeah. Like, we see shit like Flint happening, and then we're not, like, raising hell and saying, like, okay, so, like, let's test water in all, like, urban neighborhoods. Like,
Because
like
basically that issue is not just it's not just there.
No.
There are high lead levels in a lot of cities.
Yep.
I heard something that they tested that it was a couple schools that had it, that they tested the fountain
right?
water drinking
Yeah.
in schools in New York. That shit ain't, man, listen.
And they used to say that New York had the best drinking water.
Tap
I don't know
water.
how I don't know how true it is anymore, but
I could believe it because there's the most money here, and the way economics, dictates we probably have the best system, but it's all
still,
bullshit,
if they're
man.
finding schools that have high lead levels,
True.
But I'm
Even in
wondering if that
Jersey?
has to do with, like, the school's filtration systems, because these buildings are so old.
Absolutely.
So, like, with the shit that's coming through the pipes and stuff like that, maybe they, like, the school infrastructure might need to be updated.
It's all chemicals, man. Them chemtrails that they fucking pumping across in the skies. When you feel happy, it's because your brain's releasing a certain chemical. When you feel sad, it's because your brain's releasing a certain chemical. When you're hungry, all of that shit. We just fucking chemical computers, man. And if they expose you to a certain thing, you will act a certain way. That's it. If you look up in the sky, just when you're outside in your neighborhoods, look up in the sky and you'll see planes just flying across, just shooting shit. Just a line or something. What is that? That shit is falling down. And that shit been happening since I was a kid. I swear I would call my mother right now. I used to always be asking, Mommy, look, they skywriting. She was like, shut up. No, they not. They just be a line. I'm like, but Mom, they not writing nothing. And I'm talking 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. And now I'm 32 and I'm still seeing the shit. Just look up. You'll see it. What are they spraying? Why are they spraying this shit? These pharmaceutical companies are owned by fucking billionaires. If we all sick, we just putting the money right back in their pocket. I always believe that shit, man. It ain't no coincidence.
Yeah. I just want someone to actively, like, research that shit.
It will never come out because these are the same people that are spraying it are the people that own the media, that own the shit
it
that's
comes
coming out.
and then they kill those people.
Yeah, it comes out and it kills people, or they discredit you, or they do whatever. It'll never be able to get to the point where it's influencing the masses because they control the influence. They control the newspapers. They control the internet. They control all that shit. So unless you woke enough on your own to be able to notice it and do, I mean, what can you do? They spraying shit from us. Where the fuck you gonna go?
Shoot them down.
There's one planet with the shit.
You
I would
haven't
be
seen
down
that
for
a lot of like herbalists and like doctors that holistic doctors, they've been finding them dead.
Sebi, how they kill Sebi?
really?
And
Well,
they
they killed Sebi, but there's another woman who a lot of holistic doctors. If you
Really?
look it up,
Hell
they
yeah.
find them dead.
Guys are blowing my fucking mind.
Because you taking away
Interesting.
trillions of dollars from us, man. Trillions
Really?
of
I know
dollars.
a lot of cures like it's in the food, but that's why they also like tainting the food.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I had this interesting talk this week or last week about the farm raised seafood versus you probably don't realize
tilapia.
you're eating not just tilapia
Fake
though,
ass fish. Don't eat that shit.
but salmon, seafood, shrimp. It says it on the package, so it says farm raised.
yeah.
So this
Well, I
guy
don't
was trying to
know.
convince me, or convince himself, that it's no different than any other
It's coming
farm
from the
raised.
saltwater.
No, than any. That's what I was trying to say. I'm like, I didn't know. First of all, I'm new to the seafood world. I just started eating like shrimp, like not so long ago.
Mhm.
What the fuck you
I
was
hate.
that?
My mother ate it. This is our story because she ate it 9 months straight, like nothing but
Oh,
seafood. I
and then
hate
you
it.
hated it.
As a
Okay.
child, as growing up, I hate fish. I don't eat fish still.
What?
It stinks. I don't like the smell of it. It's so like, ugh.
Holy
I don't like, and
shit.
I can only kind of try it if it's cooked on a gourmet level where it doesn't taste fishy. If I taste the fishiness,
Okay.
I'm not
Nah,
gonna
I feel
eat
you.
it.
You entitled to that.
but shrimp, I rock with shellfish for the most part.
Yeah,
because it's not that fishy.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what everyone says. But so he's trying to convince me like, oh, it's no different than any other farm raised animal. So I'm like, really? I've never seen cows in the wild. Have you ever seen a cow in the wild?
Cows man-made. A cow's man-made.
I don't know, but
Cows
I've
are
seen-
man-made?
Absolutely. Cows are man-made. Cows are
What?
genetically engineered to be man-made.
What?
The same way we did.
I got
I'm
you
doing
right
it
now.
like, what?
Y'all look
What?
it up. Look it up.
What?
Exactly like you said.
Bro,
Ain't
what are
no
you talking
wild
about,
cows.
man?
Do you
Well,
see?
That's what I'm
actually,
saying.
Bro,
They're
I'm out, man.
bulls.
We've never
had-
We the same way dogs come from wolves. Ain't no wild Yorkies running around. We took wolves and genetically engineered them over thousands of years and came up with all of these
or
different
mixed
dog
bred
breeds.
them. Mixed
The
bred
same
them
thing was
somehow.
done with
cows?
bulls to create cows. Shits ain't
Well,
real.
that-
Shits is
I was about to say,
man-made. Look
actually,
that
I
shit
used to
up.
be afraid of the bull and them with the horn.
That's
the
a
horn and them
fact.
in the pasture in Antigua. However,
I have no idea what you just
Look
said.
that shit up. That shit is a fact. We created
When we-
cows.
Okay, so
Children, I-
I'm
we
saying
children,
that
I
I've
used
never.
man-made.
All right, so now you
Wait,
educated
wait.
me, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so he was saying, he brought up that about cows, but he didn't say that cows were man-made.
They are.
But he was comparing. But see, now I was saying, so you don't think it's weird that they have these lake farms or
Absolutely, where they make fish and all that. Yeah,
They're-
them
they're
shits is fake
breeding
as shit.
fish.
Hell yeah.
and when you
I don't
research
know
it,
if it's weird because I know their natural their natural habitats are a certain type of place, but I don't know if you have a couple of male and female and you're creating an environment that's similar to that where they come from and not using any hormones and things of that nature. I don't know if that's. I don't know if there's anything particularly wrong with that, if that makes any sense. So I think it depends on what goes into
when
the
you
process.
research it, right?
Mhm.
What they do to preserve it is what makes it not as healthy as a wild caught
Absolutely.
fish.
Absolutely.
Because now they inject it or whatever with whatever
mad
bullshit.
hormones, mad chemicals.
The same way he was trying to say, well, the same way you eat meat, they do the same thing.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, okay, I was trying to put it in my mind, but still, me now, ever since I discovered that from a year, actually now if you Google it, it doesn't come up the same. But when I Googled it a year or two ago, when you Google farm raised fish, you see pictures of factories with these small pools.
with tanks.
And I'm like, I don't want no fish that's
That's
coming out of
what
a
it
damn
is.
factory.
Hell yeah.
A lot of tilapia and shit like that.
No,
I feel
tilapia.
Not only
tilapia
tilapia.
is a man-made fish.
That's man-
Again, that is a
Well,
man-made
then I-
fish. There is no wild tilapia. There's no place in this planet where
if
you
you
go
look
and
it up,
catch a
no,
tilapia.
if you look it up,
Them
they
shits
said
are
that
man-made.
that it became extinct, and then they kept it. But then
Every
hold up,
piece
in
of
the
tilapia
same
you ate
conversation,
is
they
coming
brought it
from a
up.
fucking
They
lab.
said that tilapia is originally dolphin.
Look that shit up. It's a
Some
fake.
crazy
It's a
shit. I'm like-
man-made fish.
They call it dolphin fish, but not like he said
I
not
don't
like
eat
flipper.
tilapia
It's not like
anymore.
flipper dolphin,
Well,
but
after
more like
today,
It's a man-made fish. They eat
I
shit.
used to
They
crush
eat
that shit
whatever.
in
You can
college,
just throw
too.
like
You
they live
can
in
buy the
nasty
bag.
brown water. Look up tilapia.
I don't
man.
want to. Thanks.
I've stopped eating tilapia years ago. When
It's
that shit
almost
first
like
became
it's
popping, I was
like
like,
just
oh yeah,
straight
protein.
soy.
It's
like it's
This
soy,
is terrible. Don't eat
kinda.
that shit.
but either way,
Tilapia.
But it's the same shit. Your vegetables. If you go and you say I'm gonna be a vegan, all I'm eating is vegetables. Your vegetables are GMO. They're crossbreeding lettuce with cactuses so that you gotta water it one time a month and it'll grow. It's the same shit. There's nothing that's really good for you. It's about picking
But-
the lesser of all evils. There's no meat. There's no vegetable. There's no fruit. There's no nothing. Seedless grapes. The fuck is that?
Right.
They made that shit.
all
that shit ain't
seedless
real.
fruit are bad. Yo.
That shit ain't real, man.
Dr.
You
CB
just
definitely
don't want
taught that.
Yeah, you just don't
wanna
want to
see
have
the
seasoning
seed,
and
yo.
shit.
You want to see
Yeah.
the seed.
Seedless
We've been
grape.
eating
Where the
it.
fuck it came
Seedless
from?
watermelon.
Like,
Seedless
I-
watermelon. Where the fuck it came from then? If ain't no seeds.
I don't know.
They created it.
They
But
made
it depends
that
on what
shit,
they
is what I'm
like.
saying.
When you
Oh,
say
that
okay,
shit
so
is
it's cross
crazy.
pollination, right?
No, this is what it is. So with the shrimp, right? When you look at, basically, they took real shrimp
Mm.
and they used the real shrimp to breed the fake shrimp.
And then
So
you
there
gotta
was like
think.
one set of real shrimp that they bred they bred and they keep doing
And
it.
it's one family. What happens when
Right.
you keep even people when you keep breeding from the same family? That's when you get the genetic mutations. And that's why you don't have kids with your sister because that is not healthy. They're supposed to be out in the wild so that they can breed with
Right.
other families. That crossbreeding shit is not good. Even with dogs, even with any fucking species, you're not
Yeah.
supposed to do that. So you're taking one family and just continuously breeding.
That's what they're doing
We're
with the
eating
seafood.
the 1,000th generation of this fucking mutated hybrid cross gene
Oh,
family.
Like, if you
Wow.
compare farm-raised
Like-
salmon to
Wild
wild-caught
caught.
salmon, first of all, it's way bigger and way pinker. It's like really like this pretty red.
And why is the
Because
wild caught more expensive?
You
I
said,
mean,
why
the
isn't
same
it?
Why is
the
the
same
wild
reason
caught more
organic
expensive?
shit is more
That's why.
expensive.
Exactly.
The
now-
same reason organic
ever
is
since
more
I
expensive.
discovered that, because I mainly just buy shrimp. I'm only buying wild caught, and you could tell that makes you kind of appreciate the fishiness because the wild caught shrimp are way more
Word.
fishy than the farm raised shrimp. They are.
Because that shit's coming from the ocean and
Right.
actually swimming around. This
Oh,
shit is coming
dear.
from somebody's tank in a fucking.
Can I-
It's a
glass.
lose-lose.
This
It's
food
a
thing is
lose-lose.
overwhelming.
Can I still go to Red Lobster?
Sure, you're eating farm raised
Hell yeah.
seafood.
Hell yeah.
Depends on what it.
But bro,
Because I'm thinking
there's
a lot of
no way you can
restaurants
get
are
away.
serving farm
Of
raised.
course, they have to buy shit in bulk.
Right.
So.
If you grow your own shit, if you was to say, yo, I'm gonna go in and build my own farm right now, I'm going
Just
to
some
get the
bullshit.
seeds are fucking corrupted. The seeds are from that shit. There's no way around it. You got to pick the lesser of all evils. There's nothing, healthy, whatever. Why you think fucking Donald Trump eat mad fucking McDonald's and shit? You ain't see that?
That ain't
It's
the
the
lesser
richest
of all
person
evil.
in
That's
the-
the evil of all evil. His
When
stomach-
I'm saying is it's all the same. It don't matter because it's all that same bullshit. He knows that all of that shit
Angus
is fake.
burger is, a real
Of
good
course,
burger
it's a
is
little
not,
bit.
a Shake Shack burger and a freaking McDonald's burger is not the same.
I mean, let me ask you this.
I don't know. McDonald's tried to step up their game over there.
Yo,
They're stepping it up.
all
I haven't eaten
Please.
McDonald's in like freaking 10 years.
all the hamburgers in the world,
Shit.
where the fuck
I
is
had
all these
McDonald's
cows?
the other day.
Where the fuck is all these cows? Ain't enough cows for all them fucking hamburgers that they make in the world. But the thing about McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, all
McDonald's
these
never
chains,
In the
use
Midwest
real meat,
somewhere.
though. McDonald's, they don't use real meat.
But that's what I'm saying. None of
They
these
use
people use
but
real
that
meat.
was a
The
joke.
pink slime
They use
with the- it's-
horse meat.
Yeah, it's half this and half that and put together in this shit. None of that shit is real, man. It's all bullshit.
Some of it is real.
I don't think none of it is.
I feel like Wendy's has like a little bit more integrity with their products. Wendy's
do.
food is a little
Never
better.
come at
And
Wendy's on
notice
Twitter.
like Wendy's don't have that. What you mean?
Yo, they get
Wendy's don't have it as many
Don't clap back.
establishments
whoever's
open.
doing
Wendy's,
Yo, they
Wendy's on
Yo,
Twitter,
clap back.
they let it off.
They'll clap
Really?
back
They'll
they
clap at
clapping
anybody.
McDonald's, like
Really?
Anybody.
They dissing
Anybody can
rappers,
get
they
it, B.
Really? They
Anybody
got
can
a
get
they
it,
got an
B.
army like that
Yo.
on Twitter.
They got somebody, a young black kid doing.
You know, I
Yo.
never experienced a Twitter. I never did the Twitter life like that. I don't know what it is to
Yo.
get got on Twitter.
Wendy's?
10 years ago, I was on Twitter crazy, like all day.
I'm back on there now.
I tried to. I don't even know how to use it no more. I feel mad old.
Just
like,
talk shit.
nah, but like to retweet and I don't know. I'm old now. I can't fuck.
You gotta
with it.
just start popping it. As
Yeah.
things come in your timeline and you disagree or agree. Or
I don't
whatever,
see nobody no more. Like all I see is like I don't see
You
real
don't be on the
people no
page
more.
like that. 'Cause I think I followed you.
Yeah, I followed you. Like I don't see no real people. All I see is like businesses and like ESPN
gotta
and shit. Like,
follow
I be wanting to
people.
talk. Yeah, I be wanting to talk to like actual people. Like
Yeah.
fuck these businesses and shit.
Well, what, for you, I would go to like start talking shit on like the ESPN account. Like,
Yeah.
and that's how you'll start like, and you'll start seeing more people like, and you can start going back and forth like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? You talking about that? You start like
Oh,
talking.
y'all be using Twitter to go find conflicts.
I mean,
No,
Twitter's
I'm
a good
saying
place
to engage. That's what it's there for. It's to
Oh.
engage.
Yeah, you want to speak
That
to
should
more
be
looking
giving
for the
me
smoke.
be fucking
Not
fucking my
conflict
anxiety.
necessarily, but I'm saying
You
like
can talk about how the Knicks.
Black Twitter is
just beat the
popping. Black
Lakers.
Twitter does. Black Twitter kind of like they lead. They lead the
The charge with shit.
They lead the charge with a lot of shit.
Because I always hear about Black Twitter. It's like
it's
a
not always
person.
right, but I'm saying they
Like
lead
it's a whole
hilarious.
person
And people done got their whole careers off
Yeah.
Twitter. Like
off of Twitter.
Tax whole shit really came
Tax
off Twitter.
shit. I was following
Tax
him
shit
off
came
of Twitter,
Dead ass.
but then I had to stop like because he was like he was just say mad ignorant shit, and it was
that's whack, though.
entertaining. But
That's it.
then he was
What
like,
I
I'm
will
like,
say about him is I've heard a lot of people be like, "Oh, he acting, he doing all this." I used to see Tax damn near every day in 2000, and he was the exact same person. It was just that these platforms allowed him to do that on larger platforms.
Right.
This was never an act. He never was, like being somebody that he wasn't. He was always this #1 super troll, and just Twitter and Facebook and all that shit gave him the platform to do it. Like, and that shit.
You know
blew
where,
the
where
fuck
I
up.
discovered him though before Twitter? He had a show with some other guys from Brooklyn, I think.
He did.
It was like it came on once a week. It was like a radio show.
Oh, Tax Season. His podcast. You talking about?
No, before that.
Before the podcast?
Tax season
Okay,
came.
I'll
That's
drop it.
after he started getting famous.
Should go to.
But before that, he did like an internet radio show with some other dudes.
Okay, maybe, yeah.
And that was entertaining. That's what made me follow him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
He was always a funny nigga. Like,
he's funny.
That just looks like you just brought like chocolate milk into the thing.
It's lit.
It's
But it looks good though.
It does have hot chocolate, coffee, cinnamon, cayenne pepper,
Cayenne pepper.
nutmeg,
Cayenne pepper pan hot chocolate.
Oh, so it's coffee, but with
Mhm.
that. Yeah, that's
a mocha or whatever.
Okay.
You made it.
Mm.
I ain't mad
I
at
do that
you.
too, but if they call it like a
Is it the Kentucky Derby?
no, it's not the Kentucky
What-
Derby.
what
First
is it
of all,
called? What is it called?
first of all, that's called what was it called?
You tell me. You said the,
Kentucky coffee is
no.
just
You called
coffee with bourbon.
no. You called it something else. You called it Kentucky something.
Did you?
You did.
Kentucky coffee.
Yeah, I think she just said.
Coffee. He's talking about Kentucky Derby. Like, what are you saying?
No.
Oh
That
no,
ain't
the
better
coffee
at
was
all.
Turkish coffee.
Yeah, but you said Turkey. Yeah,
Just
Turkey.
with
Turkish
bourbon.
instead of
But
Kentucky.
this,
Kentucky
I
Turkish.
found too. I drink my coffee like that sometimes too because
Mhm.
they call it not that it was called, but it was like it's an elixir. So
Oh.
cayenne, fresh.
Oh, and I wasn't doing it for the purpose of an elixir. I just like the way it tastes.
No, I stumbled upon it when I first
Even better.
Watch the read the headlines.
cause I'm like a
Hey,
coffee.
boy,
Once I start
Come
drinking
and say
stuff,
something to you in there, Roswell. Oh,
no,
wait,
but I'm saying
watch
when you
out.
look it up, I don't know why I looked it up. When you go looking, see me, I create like different
I don't read the article.
recipes
I just
in
read
my
the
head.
headlines.
And then I go and put these together and say, oh, what do you know? Millions of other people have this actual recipe. Like I made another banana bread. I was telling him, right? But I was trying to be like, I've been fasting, so I'm not really,
Didn't
you
want to
know.
bring it.
Oh yeah, how's that?
But you know
doing-
what I discovered? Agave is not as healthy as people make it to be. It's not that healthy as an alternative to sugar.
Really?
It's high in fructose. So it's like
Which is even worse.
that
yeah, it's
defeats
even
the
worse than
purpose.
sugar.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking
it's
I'm being
like-
healthier using agave. I'm like, first of all, agave in coffee is bomb.
Really?
So good.
Yo, have you
I
had
used
every
to
flavor
use-
coffee?
You know, that's my problem. I'm a foodie. I'm such a foodie.
Yo.
Once I discover something, like, and I become, like, I really like it, and I try to, like, I want every aspect of it. So with coffee, I'm like, oh, this is dope. Cayenne pepper in the coffee is mad good.
Mhm.
It's a Mexican coffee. That's what they call that.
And it would make sense because of
Mexican coffee.
the chili. Most folks use chili. I use a cayenne pepper because the chili wasn't hot.
Okay. But, guess
But
sprinkle.
somebody had made the drink, and my sister had gotten it, and I had liked the way it tasted. That's why
Yeah,
we started
it's
making it.
cayenne pepper.
Mhm.
What do you call it? It's cocoa, but
Who-
is that how you pronounce it?
Mm.
C8.
Coca?
Yeah.
Cocoa.
Coca?
That.
That.
Cacao.
That.
Cacao? Oh, cacao. C-A-C-A-O.
It's like 6 different herb like powders that you put in it, and coconut
Send
oil is
the-
also good in coffee.
Share the recipe so I can see
What's-
what the difference
Who
is
makes
between
the
that
best
and the elixir.
coffee?
Okay.
Who makes the
I've
best
never
coffee?
had a cup of coffee in my life.
For real?
Ever. I've never tasted a sip
You never
of
had coffee ice cream? Anything coffee?
Growing up, I hated
Coffee
coffee.
cake? You
I was
ever had
anti-coffee.
coffee cake?
There's coffee in coffee cakes?
It's not.
I don't
no
think
coffee.
so.
That's
No,
supposed to
it's
be
just
It's a
created to be
compliment.
made.
Yeah, it ain't no coffee in that.
I can't
Hell
do
yeah,
coffee
it's a
cake.
bunch of that shit.
Nobody can do coffee cake.
But nah, I've
Bronx
never
tale.
had coffee ever in my life. Not one.
That's good.
Like, yeah, I'm trying to limit my vices, but
So, let me respond to you.
Uh-oh.
And let me explain
Uh-oh.
something.
Shots fired. Where's the shots
So,
Ain't no damn shots fired.
What time is it? though?
it's,
Oh, it's 4. I gotta go.
so when I say that I do not read the article, I skim the article for the information that I need because I'm able to do so. I skim it for what I need it for.
You said you
but
didn't
I'm
read the
an-
article.
I did. But however, it is it is not your responsibility to like seek clarifying information. It was my responsibility to be clear. I do not read the article all the time because I don't feel the need to, but I do skim it for important information. That's so that I can like develop my own perspective. But I don't think
cannot give me any advice. You cannot give me any advice.
so you find
But she
something
gets the
credible.
pass
So you
anyway.
find some no, but I don't. The thing is, I don't, and it's not. I'm not seeking a pass, because I'm okay about it. Because I'm okay about forming an independent opinion.
Of
One,
course.
and
Okay.
two, not because someone publishes something means that it's credible.
Mhm.
So the fact that you're sitting down here and you're questioning me,
Come on. Come on. You
like
always gotta make
when
it
there's no
like-
established credibility, I think you know what? I allowed you to get to me. I don't know how I allowed you to get to me. Because you know what, I was talking to someone yesterday about the podcast, right? And y'all know I don't be on social media, so I'm scrolling through and I was like, oh yeah, look at the I was like, here's one of the videos.
Oh, and that's the clip.
And I was like, I said, this bitch.
Which clip?
The clip where
I
she said
said,
she don't read the.
oh, I got
the
you.
article.
I was like, see, now I definitely need to go and like go cut my own independent clips, because you ain't about to be playing me.
Wait, are you one of those speed readers like that? I always wanted to learn
I
how to do that shit.
I'm not a speed reader, but I can't deal with like redundancy. I know that when I was writing, I used to be very redundant and like restate the same thing. I don't have time to like read all that. I don't be having time to sit down and like read text, period. So if I'm not listening to an audio book, which is like my way of consuming information now, I consume via audiobook. But most of the like the news articles and shit that I read, it's y'all know how you get like the skim of
Yes,
whatever?
we know you read.
That's what I do. What I'm saying is I look at the title.
The title.
Like so.
We know you read
A lot
the
of
title.
that shit.
And I might click on it.
You read
And
the,
I might like
exactly. You read the first 4 words. Yeah, I'm good.
But like I don't need to know all that.
You just need to know the headline.
Yo,
Yeah.
Got it.
I think.
Something happened in New Zealand. 50
Yes.
people died.
Oh.
Yeah. So, question. So, did you see that video? I'll put up on our IG with the Australian senator.
Egg, right?
Yeah. So he's getting a lot of shit for hitting the kid.
Hell yeah.
No.
Yes, that's not how you're supposed to react. And it's funny because Coach Carter was on today, and
Yeah.
and the scene where he like yoked up the little boy.
Yeah. But I was telling Raine.
It depends on the society.
Well, Raine and I were talking about before we got on air, like they both were wrong.
Nah, you're a
essentially.
politician though. There's different.
I feel you.
Different set of rules.
That was a reflex.
we
though.
I'm
gotta hold
sorry.
Self-control.
Yeah.
Of course.
I know, but
But you're a
there's
politician.
still a push for you to demonstrate self-control. Because if that man was a black man, he would have been done.
Yep.
Okay, if he was a black man and he yoked that guy up, or
But
went
it's
after
funny
that
that
guy.
we say it's a matter of self-control that we have to have, but that's just simple reflexes that I think anyone, doesn't matter who they are, I think that's just something. Maybe, I don't know. My reflexes is the
Sometimes
same
a kid
thing.
might accidentally hit you. It wouldn't be a reason for you to hit him back.
Oh, that wasn't an accident.
No, I know that, but what I'm saying is it could have been another circumstance where it was an accident and he could have reacted that way, right? It wouldn't have made it right. It would have been the same thing. Everyone would have expected him to demonstrate self-control, particularly as a leader. It would have been different if he wasn't a leader, but because he is a leader, people have greater expectations of him, right?
Yeah, you're a politician.
That's the thing. Everybody got an impulse. Like,
I
everyone
see
would have
that-
slapped somebody back.
It's a matter of perspective. I see that he's human. Somebody egged
I mean,
him.
that's real. Would I
Two-piece
fire like
combo.
if like would I push for him to be like pushed out of his seat? No, but he has to
Yeah.
like take ownership for his actions.
That was premeditated.
Yeah.
You had the egg.
He had the egg. He specifically
You knew.
went there knowing
He's like,
he is gonna get.
I'm behind him.
Yeah.
I got this egg. As soon as he say that dumb shit, I'm gonna bow.
Exactly.
And the illest shit is
He didn't
he had the
expect the
phone.
two-piece.
He had the phone. He was recording him and him blow. So you know he
That's
got the
not
first
right.
person angle. Like
Yep.
that's what I want to see.
All
You
you
know,
saw was
if I
the
didn't
fist.
leave when you
Video,
told me to
like-
leave the other day, I would have missed that flight. I'd have missed that flight.
You told us, right?
Oh,
Also
I
with
don't
the
know,
egg.
but I would have missed that flight.
I know. I'm like, yo, you are pushing it. I never
Yo.
said that before. Oh, my bad. Just like,
No,
but peace out, guys.
I Raine. Holla at you later, Raine. And I just want to say, shade but no shade. I appreciate you coming on Saturday. I appreciate.
She
you.
actually really did try to. She
I
actually
know,
really
I
tried
know.
to go.
I'm
To
joshing.
come.
I'm joshing.
So then don't call
Nah.
her out.
Any summertime games?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Oh, okay.
Nobody calling nobody. Can we just have a little fun? Q.
Oh, did that bother you?
Oh.
Calm down, like, calm down.
Boy, you gonna leave Raine? You
See
gonna
you
leave Raine?
later. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Wow.
Did that bother you?
Yeah. My goodness. Anyway,
Yo.
but yo, I was gonna talk about real quick. So I was watching this fight. It was a clip, and I'm thinking it was a chick,
Son, that's what I was just about to say.
but it was a dude. It was a transgender. So it just made me think, like, imagine if we just
There was a guy who was transgender.
yeah, and it made me think about all sports after that, like football, basketball, you know.
You can't go. You shouldn't be able to go the other way. I'm sorry.
Wait, what?
You
What
shouldn't
you
be
said?
able-
What y'all talking about?
A man transitioning into a woman should not be able to compete against women in sports. I'm sorry.
Like
Should not
Joanna
be able
Man
to-
times
No.
10.
A man who transitioned to be a woman should not be able to compete against a woman.
No. If you're a woman that's transitioning to a man and you feel like you're that dope and you want to do it, by all means, do it. But the other way, absolutely not.
But what if there
I'm
were
not-
categories for like body weight and mass and stuff like that?
No, still, you go in the body weight and mass of men. There's men's 154 pounds and women's 154
So
pounds.
the
It's not
chick,
154-pound men fighting 154-pound
the
women.
chick was a dude. Like he was a dude, and he fought.
Yeah, they're winning wrestling championships. They're winning track and field. Yeah, like I don't want my daughter wrestling with this fucking man. I'm sorry, like, and I like crucify me or whatever.
I had
But
to
like
think about
that's
this one.
bullshit, man. That is bullshit. Because if it's like that, then I want to play
So
in the
then-
WNBA. I feel like
What?
Pretty
I always
much.
felt like I'm a woman.
No, that's real.
and
You
I
know
wanna
what?
play in WNBA.
I don't think I have a clear enough
Omarosa
understanding of
sounds
the
nice.
physiological differences between men and women to understand that. And the reason I say that is because like if weight in class is like that delimiter, and there is not that much difference between a woman and a man as it relates like who are of the same weight and body mass.
Nah, there's a huge.
Then I can understand
difference.
someone making a case, but that's why I'm saying I don't understand the physiological
Imagine like
differences.
imagine a boxing match versus a 150-pound woman versus a 150-pound man. That's fucking crazy. Like she would get seriously hurt. Not to say there aren't some women that can win, because I know some women that are so skilled that they can beat the shit. But like on average, like an average 150-pound man versus 150-pound woman, that's no competition.
But if you have trained and like if you have trained to do this sport, you know what I'm saying? Like my thing is if what is it called? Okay, physiological, right? What is that the longer word for?
What the physics?
Yeah, that. So if
physiology,
there's no big difference aside like with weight and whatchamacallit, I can understand someone making a case for it is what I'm saying.
Huge difference. Testosterone makes a fucking huge difference. Like we are genetically different. Like we are genetically built to do different things. Like I don't want my daughter wrestling against a fucking
No, I think that's
boy,
real.
like,
I think
no
that is.
matter
I think
what.
that's completely real. I 100% agree. I wouldn't want to be wrestling against no
That's
damn
what
boy.
I'm saying. Like, and they're
However,
fucking
I can
winning
understand
state
someone making a case.
championships. And if that's okay, then I want to play in the WNBA.
So then, what do we do?
I'm a
Create
woman.
leagues by gender, I suppose.
We do have leagues by gender.
No,
The
but
NBA
now
is
then
a man.
but then that means we need to create new leagues for new genders.
Ain't no
Or
money in that. It's not enough money. The
Not
reason why these
maybe
leagues
not
are-
yet.
Maybe it will be, but as of right now, there's not enough participants. There's not enough money to make leagues of specifically transgender athletes. So I don't think they can do that, but it's still completely unfair. Like, it's
Think
ridiculous.
about that. Like, imagine if The Rock decided to get in touch with his feminine side,
And he's a woman now.
and he wants to.
You guys do not have to make the case for me. I understand. I get it. What I am saying is, but when I'm speaking, I'm just speaking from the sake of like, if we're gonna speak about fairness, let's speak about fairness, right?
Yes.
So I am just saying, I didn't understand what aspects created the difference. In speaking about fairness, people of the transgender community are also going to want to compete in competitive sports or participate in competitive sports. So then, what's the trade-off? Like, what a league is created for that for transgender folks? Like, do we redefine class?
But
like,
people
what the
who
hell?
are transgender, they
Do
don't.
transgender folks then are they allowed to still compete in as men?
Yes. If you're transgender, you have to compete against the stronger of the two. So any transgender person has to compete against men. Bottom line.
You know what I'm saying? Because there might be. I feel it happening soon. There might be a woman who probably
Transitions into
a man and want to play
testosterone, but still wants
want
to play women.
football
No.
or want to play. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things.
No.
So
shit
a
is
woman that's
crazy.
transgender, like she
That's
wants to
transitioning
identify
into
as a man.
Yeah.
Would you let her play football?
If she can play, yeah, I don't care. If, let's say, hypothetically, Beyonce was mad fucking nice, and there's nothing manly about her, and she's just fucking good, let her play. Get her a fucking jersey. I don't care. Like, if she's good enough to play, let her play. I've played in basketball leagues where girls have played. I've been at parks where a girl is one of the best fucking players at the park, and she's playing with the dudes, because she'll bust 6 of the 10 dudes on the court's asses. Yes, let them play. If a woman can get to the point where they can play professional sports on the level with men, absolutely. Let them do it. There should be nothing holding you back. If you can help us win this game, if there's a girl out there that can help the Lakers win the championship, sign that fucking girl.
Yes.
I want her on the Lakers right now because I want to fucking win. I don't care. But I don't want a fucking man wrestling against my daughter in some high school fucking, like, wrestling match. No. Like, come on, man.
I mean, that's real.
That's a violation, man. And maybe I'll get killed, like, you know, PC culture, where we live and shit. Like,
that's real.
Yeah, but like, you know, man.
No, it's real, but I think it's very real, and it's okay to make that statement.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, if I had a child, I guess I wouldn't want her wrestling against a guy either. I'm just also making a statement. I think it's still also important to address, like, and then how do these folks still.
Mm-hmm.
How are they still able to participate in, like, organized sports?
I think you should have to participate with if it's a woman
and,
transitioning
like,
into a man, you got to compete with men. If it's a man transitioning into a woman, you got to compete with men. I'm sorry. Like, you can't, like, the uneven, it's almost like the extra testosterone. Like, if you take extra testosterone in these leagues, you will get suspended. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that is a performance-enhancing drug. Testosterone is what allows you to run and jump and be strong and all of that. If you're on a geeked-up level of testosterone, you have an unfair advantage. Like, this is just fucking science.
So
that's real.
This transgender Fallon Fox, it was reported that she broke a woman's skull.
Come on! What the fuck? But you gonna get at me because I'm not PC and there's fucking kids getting their fucking skull.
I
not you.
wasn't.
Not you, but like, not you. I'm saying, like, you know, there are people that are gonna kill me. Like, you can't say this, you can't do that. But come the fuck on, man. Kids are getting their skulls fractured, man.
Yeah.
Like, are we just gonna throw science out the window because of PC culture? Oh, you gotta teach you. No, the fuck you don't. The world is not fair. Everything is not fair. Like, we gotta stop thinking in those terms, man. Like, God damn.
The world is not fair, but it could be equitable.
It
This
should
is
be.
true.
And equitable is not letting men compete against women in sports. Like,
There's no way. There's no way.
You
They're not gonna.
shouldn't.
There's none. Transgender a dude.
I
That's
can't
gonna,
speak to that. I don't understand physiology.
I mean, the fact that a man who's gonna identify. It's like, what's the dude? The dude from the Kardashians. He's a girl.
the father?
Chris. Yeah. What's his name?
Bruce
Caitlyn.
Jenner?
Bruce
Caitlyn Jenner?
Caitlyn. That's like, you know, him. You know.
Her running
excuse
against
me.
other women.
Exactly.
I mean, no, I get
Big
it.
ass Olympic athlete
no.
man.
Don't get me
Triathlon
wrong.
winner.
Don't get me wrong. I completely agree. I get that part, right? I guess I
Yeah.
didn't. The one statement that I was making is that I didn't understand physiological differences enough to understand whether or not weight in class
Yeah.
were like enough delimiters to say
Yeah.
like, oh, these folks could compete against one another. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't understand how testosterone and all that shit play into it. Never paid attention to it. Didn't care. Don't know. So that's why I'm saying it. We still need to make a case for like what's fair for people.
Well, that's something we can revisit because I haven't really gathered my thoughts. Sound like somebody. But it was just weird because that story, like I said, just made me think about, you know, other sports. You know, mainly the two sports that, you know, I'm most familiar with is basketball and football. How would that look?
I saw there was
You know what
one
I'm saying?
track and field where there's a man transitioning into a woman.
Mm-hmm.
He's competing against women, and he's fucking blowing on these girls. He's fucking 6'7" fucking strides away from them.
Damn.
Like, that's illegal. Do you even feel good winning that?
I just think
Like,
there's different.
Fuck,
There's
bro.
just different metrics of strength that men have, or you know, that women don't. You know, it's just like for football. That's what I mainly think about.
PC isn't bigger than biology, man.
That's
Biology trumps everything. Like,
That's a
we
good
are
point.
still living, breathing creatures that have to abide by the laws of the universe. Our bullshit PC culture doesn't trump the laws of the universe. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't say, oh, well, gravity is discriminating against me.
No, I don't think it's about being politically correct. I don't think it's about being
I
politically
think
correct
that's
at
what
all.
it is. I think this whole shit comes from PC culture where, oh no, you gotta let them, identify as this and
No,
do
and
whatever
because
the fuck
yeah,
want.
you can
But
identify
can't
as you
compete
want.
Against my daughter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, you can be you, and even that, like, you don't. There's certain things you don't get to choose. I can't say I identify as somebody that's 6'6". I wanted to be 6'6" my whole fucking life, but I can't identify as somebody that's 6'6".
Oh,
No,
I mean, no.
you're not. Like, yeah, you have.
Wait,
like,
so wait, what you say that to say?
saying that to say, like, if you born with a fucking penis, like, it don't matter what the fuck you feel like.
Yeah,
You got a penis.
I mean,
there's two things. Like, there's this a distinct thing. Not to say maybe the labels that society has placed upon men and women are totally bullshit. And I agree with that 1000%. To say that, you know, a man has to be, you know, super masculine and dominant, and women have to be feminine and dainty. That's all bullshit. Throw that shit out the window. Anybody can be whoever they want to be, but you cannot be born with a penis and then say I'm a fucking girl. You're not. Like, what does the definition of girl mean? Born with a vagina, right?
So here's the deal.
To me.
Here's the deal, right? Because first and foremost, technology is advanced now, so people can, because people can get sex changes. But even
that doesn't the essence of being a man or a woman, isn't it deeper than that? Because, like, it's about chromosomes, it's about hormones.
But I don't know if the process.
I don't
know if the process corrects all of that.
You can take drugs to, you know, like, if you're a man trying to transition into a woman, you take estrogen. If you're a woman trying to transition into a man, you take testosterone to try to balance it out. But that's unnatural. What your body naturally produces is that you can't change your chromosomes. If you break it down and we look at the fucking chromosome, it's still there.
But
the X or the Y chromosome is still there.
I guess my thing is, at the end of the day, why does it all matter, right? Hear me out. Mm-hmm. We have social security numbers, and people want to know, like, whether or not we're male or female, and, like, keep record of us to know that we existed here, right? Yeah. But other than that, why the fuck does it matter?
I don't think it does.
So then let people do what the fuck they want. Like, that's just where I'm at. Like, for me, if I'm not collecting data on your gender and, like, when you were born, like, it's not my problem.
Can I ask you, would you feel some kind of way if you were in a relationship with somebody and then you found out it was a woman? Like you got married to somebody and then 10 years later they was like, yo, I'm a woman.
Because but that's off of the value of honesty, not off of the value of, like, oh, you shouldn't have been you shouldn't have been able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So that's a completely different.
You're not honest with me, but what if they, like, but this is how I didn't feel like it was something I needed to, like, I always felt like I was a man. I wanted to, you know, I didn't feel like it didn't matter, because what I feel like I was this.
Nah.
And I got the operation.
No, and I completely respect
drugs.
and I respect who you for who you are. That's great. I love that. Like, I'm happy you found yourself, but, like, you weren't truthful. That's not cool. And because, like, for me, I value you letting me know what the hell I'm dealing with, right? True. So that I can make an informed decision. That's not for you to make that decision, like, for me. Are you really a man? I mean, but shit, you about to make those questions. I'm starting to think now. I'm about to start asking questions.
Our kids are going to have to. Our kids are absolutely going to have to.
Were you biologically born as a man or a woman? Oh, man.
Exactly.
I mean, but does it matter?
Because they're giving the kids the drugs. There are kids in elementary school that are taking the drugs.
It only matters if it depends. So watch this, right? Why would you be pissed off if you found out that you were in a relationship with a man?
Because we know
aside from the Oh, that was very disrespectful. McCray, you cannot do that.
I want that.
I mean,
I want thing.
Because
it's because of the reproductive. But it's because of the reproductive aspect of it.
Not even that. It's because, like, I don't know. That's just not what I like. The same way you want to say you identify with this or you identify with that. I don't want to, like, play
But you already in a relationship with that person, right? Mm-hmm. Everything else already attracted you to that person. You already in a relationship with that person. That's already over.
Nah, man. I don't want to play swords, man.
Because if it's just a reproductive issue and then they find a solve for that, why would it matter?
It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. To me, I feel like we're intertwined on another level. There's physical, there's spiritual, there's mental, there's shit that we don't even realize.
Yeah, y'all were already intertwined before you found out.
I don't want to be intertwined with a man like that, is what I'm saying. And you gotta respect my preference, or my, like, the same way that you can do and maneuver with however way you want. You gotta respect my, you know, prerogative to say I don't want to be involved with someone like this. You gotta respect I gotta respect yours, you gotta respect mine.
No, I agree. I agree. I think my thing is, because even when you just asked me that question, I think my thing was like, oh, I'd be pissed off if that person wasn't honest, right? Mm-hmm. But then why would I care about the person being honest? One, because of the value of honesty, but then two, could it have been for something else, like, oh, like, I might want to have a child, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and if those weren't factors that mattered, would it still matter? Was a question that I was asking myself. So I was then, like, shooting that question your way. Like, what would be the thing that, if you were in a relationship with somebody for 5 years and then that person came out and told you, like, hey, something that I didn't tell you, I was born a boy, right?
Yahtzee.
But then you guys were already in a relationship, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And say that, like, science had had evolved to a place where, like, there were reproductive organ surgery that could happen. And, like, you guys were able to have children and things of that nature, so there were no delimiters about it. Would it matter?
Yes. To me, absolutely.
And do you feel is that just because, and it's actually you wouldn't know that because it's
Spiritually.
probably just because you're born in a time where, like, it was when we were socialized into this world, we came out knowing that it's like male, female, and there may be like someone who had, like, some folks in this world who have both.
Absolutely.
So maybe that's why, but maybe in like a couple of years from now, it won't matter.
It's not going to matter because I feel like that's the way that society is going. But like I don't know. To me, it's bigger than just the physical. Like, it's spiritual. Like, you're spiritually a woman. Like, you have things that.
You thought that person was spiritually a woman for 5 years.
Oh no, this is a hypothetical situation. This is never. This is not. Let's
Hashtag
reiterate
just
that.
saying.
I know it is hypothetical, but I'm just saying,
but
like, if that were the
I
case,
don't know. I
like,
feel
why would it
that's-
matter then?
That matters. Big
See?
time,
You gotta think about it.
man. It does.
Alright,
Like,
Kyle.
even like real shit, like, and something that's not even like even close to the level, like talking online with like online chatting was dope and all that, you know, like early.
But we never knew what was on the
2000s
other
era
end.
Is what I'm saying. Like, I
Mhm.
remember one of my cousins like, yo, you might be sending talking all that shit to some fat ass grown greasy 45-year-old man sitting in this, and I was like, bruh, I'm never speaking to nobody online ever again, like, cause it could be that,
Never know.
and there's no physical contact, but even that weirded me the fuck out. Like, yo, if I'm talking to a man on the computer with, you know, messages like that, it would feel crazy to me. I would be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You gotta figure out why it feel crazy because it shouldn't feel that
I
crazy.
think everybody took that L. You probably was talking to a dude.
come on. And so everybody took that L. You everybody, right?
I know.
You had to
Yeah.
share your experience with us.
No, I
whatever
know. I'm not.
happened.
No. I'm not. I don't.
Tell
I'm,
us about that time.
Listen, there you go. All I'm saying is we all, I think, at some point in time, because that was the internet. That was the internet. We all, I think, have you changed? You didn't say your age. You was like, yo, I'm 19.
Oh yeah, I used to
I ain't
be
never
on that
lied on
bitch.
the damn internet.
Nah, I used to stay lying. 'Cause we
Yeah.
got internet. I was probably like 13, 12.
Yeah.
I used to be on that bitch like, yeah,
I'm 36.
17, 18,
Trifling.
looking for hell yeah.
Trifling.
Hell yeah.
Trifling.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Word up. Couldn't even send no
Trifling.
pics because I looked like I was
Word.
8. Like I was 8. I can't send no pics.
Yo,
Black Planet days.
yo.
Hell yeah.
I had a Black Planet experience.
What do
I
you mean a
never
Black
got
Planet
no ass
experience?
from Black Planet. Like, I
So,
was too young.
This one chick, I had a Black Planet date, and it was crazy. It was like I was off from school or whatever. We had like a break, and this one girl I met up with. So let's just say, I won't say catfished. Maybe.
Oh.
I don't want to say I was
You got
catfished.
catfished?
I ain't get catfished.
You got
Damn,
fat
B.
fish?
I got fat.
You got fat fish?
Y'all need to stop fat shaming.
I got
Y'all
fat
ain't shit.
fished. I got fat fished.
Ain't nobody fat shaming, but when something comes that you not expecting.
Yeah. Talking about she looked like Janet Jackson.
She did not say that. Stop it.
Came out looking like Freddie Jackson, but it was crazy though because it was weird. I'm like, and I swear, I told my boys like, yeah, man, I got this date with this chick, yeah, and I showed the picture like, oh, she valid.
Oh wait, so you had
Yeah, I had
it
the
was
picture.
a fake pic or it was Photoshop?
It wasn't Photoshop. It was like
Maybe
a
it was
pic
a
from
couple
like
years
3,
ago.
yeah, like 3 years ago.
Good angles and shit.
So I'm just like, hold
I mean,
up.
but there was still the possibility. You know, she was
No,
saying once upon a time.
Nah, we don't do that. We don't do the Throwback Thursday.
A hot
We don't
mess.
do that.
I cannot.
So I
Y'all
saw her from
terrible.
afar. I swear, like I saw her and I'm like, all right, so where you gonna be waiting for me at? And it was right where she said she was gonna wait for me. I was just like, ah man. So what I did was, I'll circle back. This was about in the Bronx by Bay Plaza. So I circled back. I walked my ass to the to Baychester, and I took the 5 train home.
You ain't
Yo.
shit.
So
you
That's
ain't
not
even say
right.
I didn't even say
That
nothing
is
to her.
not right. That is
Listen,
so wrong.
Did she ever hit you again after that?
Yes, she did, and she was just like, "Yo, what happened?" I'm like, "Yo, my mom's, she needed my help, so I had to go make sure she was good."
That's trifling. That's not right.
Never spoke to her again.
You should have at least like addressed her. You like if you needed to call her out, that wasn't right.
Hell no.
Come on, man.
Listen, Throwback Thursday days. Nah, you showing me 3 years ago pics. I'm like, you look nothing like how you look now.
And then, like, how old were you? Because at that time, 3 years ago, pics, like, that had to be, you know what I'm saying? If you 17, you
Those are
showing
still
14
Polaroids.
on a picture.
Yeah.
So,
I think
like,
I was 20. I was 20.
okay.
I was
Damn.
20. Yeah.
Black Planet?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, 'cause
years
I
were
was like, yeah, you're
what
right,
were the
you're right.
years that Black Planet was popping?
Around that time, 2000 what?
99 to wait.
Nah, like,
yeah,
no,
sorry,
wait
no.
on like 2003,
99,
2004.
Yeah.
That's when it came out?
Yeah, like it was
No,
like prominent.
it-
It's been
it-
out, but since the internet,
So no,
Not
because
since
it
the
has to
internet.
it has to have at least have been 2002.
Something like that.
2001, 2002.
yeah.
I only said 2002 at the very least because it like became very popular in my high school for like exposing people or
Yeah.
exploiting people, like shit that was happening. They had like a crazy haters page, so they would create like all these stupid pages that would expose people's businesses, and it just made our high school hallways like really, really a hot mess.
Shit. I never
It would
had
speak
that.
about like who was actually like on the DL, who was dating whose
Bumba
girlfriend,
clot.
who did this on the senior class trip. It was
Damn.
so like people in my high school used to be and actually the page connected to other high schools across like the DC area. It was
Yeah.
real.
Damn, I never had that.
That was
shit
real.
on
I
my
remember a
shit.
couple of weeks of shit happening.
Yeah,
I
I
was like, what are
was.
they
I think
talking
I was
about
off Black
now?
Planet around that time. 2003, 4.
I never got no ass on Black Planet.
Wait, I mean, I didn't.
was
But
too
that was the
young.
one that was just like, nah, I'm good on it.
And then what was the other one? MySpace. I
Yeah,
never really.
I never had MySpace.
MySpace was.
And then then
Like I
Facebook
had a
came
chick,
in.
I had a chick from my school. She created like a MySpace for me, but I never checked it, and I'm like, I don't really. And I was just getting with Facebook. My name was Malik Yoba on Facebook.
I cannot. The Facebook.com.
The Facebook with the face on it.
Nah, I had MySpace because that's when you first could upload your music.
Yeah,
shit. So that's
and you
when
had
I
top
was like,
friends.
Yeah, like let me get my
Isn't
music
it
out there.
primarily
and
like a
shit.
music platform now, if I'm not mistaken?
I
They
don't
tried
know.
to
I think they're
revamp it a couple
yeah,
years
I think
ago
so.
with like Mac Miller and shit. And
Is
it
Tom
kinda
still alive?
died, but I'm sure he is. Hopefully he got a nice check.
A new
but,
picture.
Yeah, I got fat fish one time, but it was
You
she
did?
ain't had no pics, so she was just like, "Oh, I look like this, whatever." And she came. She was like, little husky and shit.
And it's not like we
Y'all are
don't. I don't.
terrible.
It's not that we don't
Shit.
like big girls.
You just want somebody to like say who they are. I get
Yeah.
it. But y'all probably wouldn't swipe. Oh, what's the show that I'm watching? Y'all wouldn't watch it.
Nah, that's not true. I like. There's some thick girls that you know what I'm saying, like.
Who's that big girl that was on the train? They had the big girl on the train, like modeling or something. It was like in the train car that they kept passing around.
Probably.
Past year. Yeah, man. Listen, if you.
I mean, I'm not attracted to the chick that played in Precious.
No,
Like,
but
I'm
it's-
not attracted to her.
That's real. It's just the idea of like
But
not
it's okay
confronting
for
the
me to say
circumstance
that,
and walking. No, it's definitely okay for you to say it, but we have a way of like making folks feel like shit for who they are, right?
Yeah.
Like
Everybody's a
saying
person.
fat fish, like that's fucked up.
No,
like,
because
if
don't
a-
tell me you.
Like for me, Charlemagne plays big people all the time, and it's not right.
Nah,
It's really fucked up.
Nah, if I tell you I'm the fucking Rock and then I
Yeah.
show up, like you got a right to be
Yeah,
like, this
you got a
skinny
right to say-
motherfucker that
you a
told me he was
pebble.
275.
No,
yeah.
you have the
Yeah.
right to say that you don't look like who you are, but I don't
That's-
feel like. I feel like sometimes we use adjectives
Q.
to like
Q.
what? Sometimes
Q.
we use adjectives and it's fucked up.
Q,
Fat
I'm
fish
telling you,
just-
if you probably get on, if you was to have a blind date with a dude who showed you pictures where he was like 235 and he's jacked up, and then you meet him at fucking, I don't know, fucking
I'm not gonna play him for looking,
Applebee's.
but not looking like.
You're not gonna play him in front of him, but I'm pretty sure if your homegirl asks you how was the date, oh girl, this motherfucker look like
I would-
a skinny
I
ass
would-
toothpick.
Yeah, like, I
Get
thought
your
it was-
toothpick looking. You would.
I
you would go
wouldn't.
in.
No, I don't think I would. I mean, but that's just who I am.
Where you
No,
at? Where
maybe it depends on the day.
Where you at, Dave Chappelle?
It depends on the day and the person, maybe.
Not a mercy.
I'm just saying that people do it often, and it don't sound good, particularly when we're talking about people who are like bigger. It just don't sound good. It sounds
I mean,
real
people
fucked
talk
up.
shit, so it's just a matter of that, and it's. But
Catfish just rhymes with catfish.
Yeah.
So if it was like tinny fish and then you could rhyme it with skinny fish, then
You
it
can
would
say
be
slim
fat
fish.
Fat fish, yeah. Exactly, but
Skim
fat
fish.
is funny.
yeah, I think I like that fish.
You call me fat ass Kelly Price.
See, why we had to talk about Gabby and Kelly in this
Oh,
conversation? Why we had to bring them up? Why we had to
That's
bring them up?
from Catfish. When the girl
Oh my god.
when the girl lied and was acting like a dude talking to
Yeah.
her cousin, and her
Oh.
cousin was like, "Yo, why the fuck you did that to me?" She's like, "Oh,
Oh,
because
I
you called me
actually
fat ass
did
Kelly
see that
Price."
one. I did see that one.
Yo.
Don't never call nobody fat ass Kelly Price.
But nah, I'm just saying, like, that was my story. You ever had a blind date story like that?
Nah, I ain't going to blind dates.
Don't lie. Don't
No,
lie.
I've never gone on no blind date. Do we have no damn blind date story like that? I don't do
Why you
well with
saying
blind dates
those
and
up
shit like
that
that.
Yeah, fuck that. I used to be on that shit.
Nah,
when I
man,
was a kid.
it's crazy out there, man. But moving on from the fat fish.
Rude.
That's not rude.
Whatever.
Make that the pick.
Q, you don't crack jokes?
I do, but
No,
not.
I
but
take that
not
back, you do.
about. I do crack jokes, but not about things like that. Particularly because I think it affects a lot of like black women. That shit. So for example, I went out with my sister last night for her birthday, and
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to her. Her birthday's
birthday.
actually tomorrow.
Okay.
She's a friend of the show.
A friend of the show. She actually listens faithfully too.
Thank
And
you.
she and some drunk like white guy was passing, and he's calling like some chick a fat bitch, and I don't know why. The chick wasn't
Okay.
fat, but it always happens with a black woman. So when I hear that, like
Oh, shit.
it just bothers me, and particularly because like even in speaking about it, we brought up the names of 2 black women. So I'm just very conscious about that.
Yes, you are.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
We had a fat conversation about a white woman though. The first
We
episode,
did. The second episode,
was
one
about-
time
It
for the
don't
big
make it
girls.
right one way or another. I'm just saying, and like it don't.
I was
That's
calling-
just me.
I
It is
call
what it is.
Oprah all kinds of fat bitches these past
Yeah, you
couple
did.
weeks,
You definitely did.
That's just what. Whatever.
See, that's fucked up.
Drop a bomb for that.
Whenever it's your touchy subject, I'm gonna automatically go to it. Like, you know, I got fucking family members or friends that's mad black, and I'm like, you black motherfucker, like whatever. I'm
Yeah,
black
you
too, but
1259.
whatever. Yeah, that's whatever. Like that's how we gonna do.
You midnight.
I'm gonna
blue.
call you.
See,
whatever.
that shit still ain't right.
People gonna say this shit to me. You skinny motherfucker. You fucking.
You
Alright,
purple.
whatever. I get it. Yeah, like. it
But
goes.
that's how how we
I mean,
was
I used to
raised.
say that shit
like,
too.
Exactly.
I mean, I used to. It's just like, but then you see the lasting effects that it has on children.
Most
so I'm
black
trying to
women
do
don't be
better.
fat,
but it can
they
go
just
either way.
dick.
I mean, it can go either way. Cause I was snapped on about my skin complexion, my birthmark, how I was two-tone. Like that for
Yeah.
real. Like kids got
Because-
creative. But it can go either way, meaning you can let that shit affect you and let it have long lasting effects, or you can just get stronger from that.
Yes.
So it's just a conscious choice.
No, point taken. You see, as a kid, I made a lot of like when I moved to America to DC, blah 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 blah. I used to do a lot of the joning shit, but it wasn't like it never produced good outcomes or whatever the case is,
Yeah.
because like it always fucked with a friend or something like that. So like I tried to
It's like
or talking
cracking
shit about
jokes,
people.
yeah.
So I tried to like stay away from it because like
Yeah.
I would get into the shit about somebody's weight or like their skin complexion because that was the thing to do, or I noticed that was the thing to do when I moved here, and I needed to be like sharp at the mouth because people used to stay coming for me in high school
Yeah, of course.
because I was the teacher's pet. But
Oh.
no, I mean, or at least that's what they thought. I was just
Q,
I just did
that's-
my damn work.
Q did her. That's funny.
Yeah. So I guess there was something that I was about to say. So the embarrassing moment that I had yesterday.
Wait.
What?
So here's the bullshit, right? So we're at the middle school game. And the cheerleaders are like, we need you guys to make noise when these boys are making free throws,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So my ass was like, oh, okay, got you, bet. In high school, I remember the cheerleaders used to do this chant. They said, MIS, SIT, miss it. So one of the little boys started to do a free throw, started to do the free throws. So I started yelling like, MIS, SIT, miss it, right? Miss Thompson grabbed me. She was like, you cannot do that here. And Kenny and Nick looked at me. They were like, Miss Arrington, this is a middle school game. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. I was like, what? They said to make noise. Why can't we do it? But it seemed so fucked up, right? Because it's like I'm probably fucking up this little boy's hopes and dreams, talking about miss it. It was just an embarrassing moment.
But I can understand that people saying because it's a middle school game, you don't do that, whatever. But the way that game was, like
Yeah.
the intensity of it, like how did they even hear you saying that?
Oh,
as
no,
loud as
I was
people
loud as
yelling it
shit.
And, like
I'm trying to think of when I had a chance to hear, but I don't think I heard.
this shit.
it.
Was
Oh, I was
wild.
loud. Like there was nobody else saying. There was nobody doing.
Okay,
there was nothing
alright,
else
so they
happening
heard
when
you
I
over,
said it.
alright, 'cause-
But my thing was like, okay, so you tell me stomp my feet, but I can't say miss it.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. If the purpose of me stomping my feet is for him to miss it, I'm gonna say that shit.
Exactly.
for
You could
real.
have said that because the thing is with middle school rules with this particular league, people in the stands, you guys can make as much noise as you want. It's the cheerleaders who can't say anything
Mm.
during the
during the
I-
free throw. You can't. So it's just a matter
And they
of
kept
knowing
saying,
that.
like, make noise, make noise. You guys have one job.
Yeah, but it's
Oh
like,
yeah, 'cause they can't make noise.
Yeah,
during
they
free throw,
can't.
So they trying to get.
yeah. So
See,
I
what they
was,
got to do is they got to start like riling the crowd up, like waving your arms, getting, like
Yeah.
doing that to the crowd to get people. amped
yeah,
up.
it
They
was.
did a really good job.
They did.
though.
They did what they did. It was an awesome job by them. It was, in reference to the basketball game. I know we talked about it earlier, but it was just an amazing environment, to be a part
Yeah, it
of.
was.
It's everything that I imagined it to be for those kids, and I just couldn't be more proud of my kids because I know what I put them through. You know what I'm saying? So for them to see something come to fruition, everything that we've discussed, everything that I prepared them for, they worked for. You know what I'm saying? Because I put in perspective for them. That's why before the game, they kept telling me, Mr. McCray, we got to go. But I wanted to tell them, like, listen, this is what it feels like when you work for something and you put all of your effort, all of your mind, body, soul, spirit. This is what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? So I think after yesterday, they finally understood that because they had to work for it. It wasn't just like, oh, here you go. No, they had to really put in the effort, and it wasn't going to be easy because Lord knows, leading up to Saturday, it wasn't easy. Like, it was crazy. And
You definitely see that they had, like, their nerves were getting the best of them.
yeah, so for us to come out on top, that meant everything to me, man. So it was great.
pretty
moment.
awesome.
They won by 1 point, yo.
Yeah, it was. We had
Debatable.
them, and it was a couple people who texted me after the game said that was a great game. But however, it was one of the worst officiating games they ever saw.
Look, that guy, he is the worst. He was the same
The
guy
short
that does,
one.
like, yeah.
Yep.
But can I ask you a question? Is he
What up?
not that guy from Aviator? Remember when we went to Aviator and and like the ruckus happened with the gentlemen who were in the center?
Yes.
Is he not the same man?
Was he not the same? Damn.
He
I
looks like the
remember.
man who, like,
Who got into it at the end.
yep.
And he was trying to work with the kids. I don't think so.
Okay,
I
it
don't
looked
think
like
so.
him.
I can see.
Like, my
yeah,
spirit
yeah,
don't like that man at all.
Nah.
What, y'all played a game at Aviator?
Nah,
and
we
he
had like a
fucked up?
trip, and then it was just kind of like
They were
was
just
talking to
rude.
the kids. Yeah.
He was he just was mad reckless at the mouth.
Yeah.
To kids?
Yeah.
Mm.
But the
It's like, how you
kids
gonna be
weren't.
working with
yeah.
kids and you?
Yeah, like I said earlier, to coach it takes a great. You need patience.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of things. You guys saw me. Like, a lot of things the kids did, it was out of complacency. And it's like, I get it. But you guys have to relax. Like,
They
they
were
did a lot
nervous,
of
though.
things out of, like, nerves and trying to do the right thing. But I'm like, guys, just relax. Like, once you relax, the game will be easier. So
Easier said than done, though. That's like the most pressure-packed point of their
Yeah.
little lives. Like,
But my
And then
job
they still
is
don't
to-
even know
yeah.
how to decipher between, like, what they're hearing from the crowd because even
Yeah.
paying attention, like, everybody's loud ass is saying something.
Yeah.
Relax. You have, like, people's parents coaching and shit like that. So it's like, who the fuck do I listen to? How do I decipher?
And that's why I take full responsibility on that because trying to get them to relax, I just tell them, like, listen, all you guys have is each other. Just stick with that because once you have that idea, then they can, like, you know what I'm saying? Because there was nothing much I can do to get them to relax, of course,
you have
but to
people
keep
yelling
that.
in practice and shit. Like, I would try to create a crazy environment
I
in
mean,
practice. Like,
when I
have
had-
the cheerleaders yelling, play mad loud music, like, ah! I mean, fucking yeah. You know
In the
what I'm saying?
beginning
Like,
of the season, when I had access to such speaker,
okay.
I was able to simulate such noises.
Yeah, because you gotta.
However, after that, what I did was just simulate the ref, like making play calls or like calling bad calls to
Okay.
get them used to that.
That's
You know
a
what I'm
dope-
saying?
Yeah, make
So,
bad calls on purpose.
Yeah, they're like, Mr. McCray, I'm like,
Yep,
listen.
it's gonna happen.
So this year, what I did was, and I'm very proud of it, is like I made sure I simulated what they are going to expect. And I think certain things that happened through the course of the season, they rolled with it because we knew what
They
to
were
do.
prepared for
They were
it.
prepared. So there's no reason for us to be nervous. So that's why, it was just a proud moment when we got punched in the mouth the last 4 games because we were tested. We answered back because we prepared for it. We knew what this was going to be like. So
yeah.
it was a great
It was a great
moment.
game.
It was a great moment for Excel, and I'm proud
Sure
of my
was.
kids, and they deserve it. I was just there to show up and just yell at them, but they put in the work. You know what I'm saying? So
They definitely did. They
It
worked
was-
hard.
it
It was
was
good to
amazing.
see another student back on the court yesterday. I was surprised.
yeah, I had counsel, and I'm full transparency. I was.
I get it.
It
I'm
was-
just saying.
Needed him to win.
No, not even that, because we did well without him.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did well without him. This was more or less like a moral kind of like go out,
I get it.
go out into the sunset. If that, walk into the sunset, whatever. That thing. He's an 8th grader, and I wanted him to have this moment. You know what I'm saying? And
So these are 6 through 8. The whole school.
5
is-
through 8.
5 through 8.
Well, we're K through 8 school. We have 2 campuses.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the team who's eligible to play?
Well, you have to be 6. You have to be 6 through 8. You can move up. You
Okay.
can't go down.
Okay,
Right.
So these
So
are
there's
6 through 8. Wow,
yeah.
that is tough.
I can
You're
have
playing
a
with
6th
2.
grader.
Yeah.
But it's logistically a 7th and 8th graders.
Okay.
However, a
If
6th
your
grader
sixth
can
grader's
move up if he's good enough.
Yeah. Okay.
But I didn't have any 6th graders this year.
Okay.
But
yeah, I'd be like that. That one
yeah.
year difference is huge.
But yeah, I had him play. We had an unfortunate situation beginning of the season, but I mean, after counsel and thinking about it, it was brought to my attention that, you know what, we can't expect these kids
No.
to fully get what we're trying to teach them now. We can only hope and expect them to understand where we were coming from years later. So it's kind of like that long-term thing. And
I mean, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
most folks expect, like, to share something one time
yeah,
and for it to be, like, received.
yeah,
It's not always it doesn't always happen that way.
yeah,
It's just still, like, reconciling it.
yeah.
At first, I was like,
But I want to say this,
Okay.
like,
I get it.
Kids make mistakes though.
like that's true too. But I want to say this though, like these kids, it just made me think about the parents as well. The parents this year were awesome.
Mhm.
Like they were.
They always are, though.
But I mean, this particular year is like they band together one game and they just took as many kids as they could home, and like it was just an
How it
amazing
should
thing.
be.
It was just
Instead of people coming to come harass me about bus money
yeah, and it was just like
at the last minute.
it was
I
just.
don't know how to expect me to find bus in less than 24 hours.
That's her accent when she gets upset. People.
Nah, I know.
But it's just a matter of that seeing the parents galvanize, and it takes a village.
Absolutely.
And it was just awesome to see this season. Like, I mean, I'm talking about it because it's 3 years. Like me being at the school I'm in, Excel, they didn't have a team prior to me getting here, but getting here and seeing it build,
And then to be at this place.
yeah, like it's quick,
Yeah.
but
It was
it's dope.
Definitely great work by you, McCray.
Thank you,
Definitely
I appreciate
like
that.
solid work. Like, and like the
Yeah.
team, just the presence of the team in the school, the
Yeah.
fact that the boys have this type of organized relationship with
Mhm.
like someone that they can, I don't know. It's just very important, and
Yeah.
like I saw that over the past couple of years. So like, good shit.
Thanks. It was great, man.
shit.
It was a great moment
Because
for
like
Excel.
I wasn't a part of an organized team like that where I saw the value,
Yeah.
and so didn't understand how important it was to bring that to the school. You know.
yeah.
So good shit.
Like Excel will go down as champions of the 2019 Charter School League.
Rest of their life. yo.
How dope! And I told him that in a huddle. I'm like, no one can take this away from
Ever.
you. Nobody.
Ever.
You are a champion.
Yup.
So next time, years later, you can
Yup.
tell people address me as a champion.
That's when you in high school talking shit. You be like, yo, I want to.
Years
Tell
later.
him, I was about to say, but
Years
tell
later.
him like
Not
after
tomorrow,
College,
not-
though,
not-
they're gonna need to build on that.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
tomorrow when they
I
get
know.
to school,
Tomorrow.
they gonna be feeling
Yeah.
themselves.
No, on
like,
Tuesday.
I know,
what?
right?
Yeah.
They gonna walk into school like they the fucking mad.
Aren't they?
I ain't mad though. Shit. I
Yeah,
would've-
man. But yeah, it's gonna be dope. But lastly, I wanted to stay on basketball since we have like 15 minutes. LeBron James. No. For real.
I wish I was West Indian so I could do the teeth suck right now. I can't even do it as good enough. Yeah, I do the 30-second teeth suck.
I don't know
right
how y'all
now,
do that.
man.
That's a skill. Is that
That
like
shit is
some-
a skill.
It's
I'm
like
not
is that
good
like a
at it.
mandatory after school program that y'all have to go to? McCray,
No.
you gotta suck the teeth.
When your parents do it to you a couple of times,
Yeah,
you
go
get
like
it.
this.
What's wrong? Wait, so what we talking about with
Yo,
LeBron?
cause I was watching.
I tried to send y'all a snippet too.
Yo, so let's talk about because it wraps around that. So I've realized that I am a big fan or an avid watcher of his show, The Shop. I like the stop it. I never downplayed him as a entrepreneur and his moves. I've never ever down talked him on that. However, as an athlete representing the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
a lot can be said about his character as a leader and as a man in the NBA. For example, there's many occasions where his team is on one side of the court for a huddle, and he's sitting his ass down.
No, that's real. And
that says a lot.
I remember watching him act like a punk ass when he lost the what was it?
He lost the
finals. Championship when he was on the Cavs. So I get it.
When he lost to the Celtics and he quit.
Yeah.
And took over
and
Jersey
he walked off the he lacked some maturity, but I think he actually even on this show addressed some of that.
The thing is, too, though, now there's no excuse. You've been in the league 10-plus years. There's no excuse for that. You're trying to set the example for your sons.
But what you mean? Like,
where do
you see it happening?
So, actually, it was put out there. Walt Frazier ripped LeBron for that. And actually today, during the timeout, the team was huddling. He was on the other side of the bench just sitting there. And then there was another situation where the team was obviously – you can tell the separation. You can tell there's something going on there. I just think that Magic Johnson was a bit impulsive, and he sold LeBron James a dream in Hollywood, thinking LeBron James is going to right the ship. He's going to save them and do all those types of things, promising him like another player to play alongside him. But in actuality, the idea of playing with LeBron sounds good. You're competitive. You're going to the finals, but nobody wants the backlash.
So y'all saying he's not playing like a team player right now?
I don't think he's playing to win at this juncture of his career.
Got it.
I don't think winning is his priority. And you got to think, too, as an athlete who's been competing for X amount of years for championships, that it kind of – you need something else to motivate you, in my opinion. And I think him coming to L.A. was no factor on him wanting to win, because in actuality, for them to be competitive, I think they should trade LeBron. I'm going to keep saying, I'm going to keep trolling this idea, because at the same time, I don't think it's necessary for him to be in LA. What he did to that team this year was one of the things, is I would say one of the worst fucking experiments ever. Yep. And also, for one, it was strictly business move. It was a move that didn't make sense to me when he signed with LA. Even when that was a shocker.
It's for extracurriculars.
Exactly.
It had nothing to do with basketball. He had no intentions of coming here to win championships.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh dear. Well, I haven't been watching it, so I don't know.
He went to A&R albums and shit and do movies and do Space Jam and do the shop and do all that shit, which is why I wasn't that welcoming of him coming. And people, oh, you crazy, you just a hater, you just being a Kobe fan, you don't want him. No. I watched somebody for 20 years who would, with a torn Achilles, still stand there and shoot his fucking free throws.
Ultimate competitor.
A broken right hand is going to play multiple games with a glove on his broken dominant hand, because I don't give a fuck. It is blood, sweat, and tears in this shit. And when you bring somebody that may be good, on the court stat-wise, but doesn't bring that level of dedication, you can't be mad at me for questioning that.
And it also plays a role. And I feel like when we talk, we're talking like haters, but it's not. It's just facts.
Sometimes people do negative shit. You
exactly.
calling it out doesn't make you a hater.
Exactly. And I feel like, in what way did he make these boys on this team better?
We got a worse record than we did at this time last year. So
I was
better.
Just about to say that. What is the ceiling?
Are you over there agreeing with them?
We have
he's
a worse
over there. He's
record.
like,
so he makes everybody around him better, but we have a worse record right now.
And
so,
that trumps that opinion.
But is there something to say? Is there something to there being a learning curve? Not a learning curve, but there's some time, there being time for him and his teammates to learn how to play with one another.
Oh, absolutely, it definitely does take some time for you to learn people. I could agree.
But
with
even with any team that LeBron's been on, history has shown it would take. Right now, they'll be kicking in the gear, they'll be coming into form. There's something going on brewing in that locker room. I don't think those players are as excited to play alongside LeBron. I don't think Kyle Kuzma is, crazy about playing with LeBron. I don't think Lonzo Ball is crazy about playing with LeBron. I feel like I'm sound like Allen Iverson. not a MVP coming off the bench. No. Not a scoring champ coming off the bench.
I
feel like I have my AI rant. But I just, LeBron, man, he's a great player, great talent. But that GOAT talk, Stephen A. Smith said it best. We got to chill out with that now, man. We got to chill out. We got to chill out. Michael Jordan locked down the whole league. He just had a conference to worry about.
He had a conference, and it was a junior varsity conference. Like,
Yeah.
East has been terrible for 20 years. I've been telling everybody that when people argue back and forth with me with that, I don't understand what NBA you were watching. Those years when Atlanta was the number 1 seed, those years when Indiana was the number 1 seed, those years when Toronto was the number 1 seed, all fool's gold, all junior varsity conference. You just beat up
Because
on the
everybody
weaker
know
teams in the
exactly.
league. You had no chance to win ever. Even the years when the East did win the championship. Boston that 1 year, Detroit that 1 year, Miami those couple years, Cleveland that 1 year. There was only one championship-worthy team in that entire conference. And you can go back and look at it. And there was only one team in that conference that can win. Every year in the West, there are 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 teams that can win the fucking championship. Every single year. So, like, he got to beat up on lesser competition for 20 years, for 16 years. So it kind of, I don't want to say exaggerated his talent, but I think he got a bit overrated from playing in the JV conference his entire career.
I agree.
People
I
think
agree.
he's the best player ever, and it's not even close.
And we got to get rid of saying like stats, defines like the greatness in the player.
I mean, Harden and Westbrook
And
stats
say
are going
what
to be better than
instead?
anybody's.
And say, for example, James Harden.
Yes,
Perfect
stats are going to be better
example.
than anybody's at the end of the year. James Harden's going to have better stats than Michael Jordan when he retires.
And I agree with that. Does not make him better than MJ.
No way.
Does not make him better than Magic or anybody. It's just a matter of right now offense, the way the league is being played.
Real shit, though. Real shit. I think James Harden might be the most underrated player in NBA history when his career is done. Because when you look back at it, he is not going to get any of the respect he deserves. This year should be James Harden's 4th MVP.
You're saying
This
James Harden is the most underrated player.
At the end of his career, I said at the end of his career, we may look back, and he may be the most underrated player in the history of the NBA. This right now should be his 4th MVP.
I don't think he's underrated.
This should be his 4th MVP.
Him
And if
not
you're not
getting-
watching it, like your son, to tell your son 20 years from now, like, yo, James Harden was that dude. He should have had 4 MVPs. He gonna look back like that, but he had 1. But you watching these seasons, they're gonna give it to Giannis. But there's no fucking way you can't tell me that James Harden's not the fucking MVP. They were 14th in the West, bro. This dude went fucking batshit, and now they're like 2nd.
They're
Bro.
not second anymore.
Well, they 3rd. Okay, they're 3rd.
They're not number 1.
Yeah, but would Milwaukee be number 1 in the West? Hell, fucking
Possibly.
no. Hell no.
Possibly.
Yo, we just went on a rant about LeBron beating up on the East, and you're gonna tell me that Milwaukee would have been number 1 in the West?
Check the stats. Milwaukee has a winning percentage against the West teams.
Yes, because they play Western Conference teams 30% of the time.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it
though.
does matter,
a
bro.
win is a win.
You're bugging, bro. When you got 4 games against the Knicks or 4 games against Golden State, that's a huge fucking difference in your
But
schedule,
it's
bro.
also good that the fact that if you're 2-0 against Golden State Warriors, that's good attitude coming into the finals.
Yeah, and if you play them
You don't
4
think so?
times, then what's going to happen, bro? It's a
Hey,
difference when you got to
it's
play
a
Golden
50-50.
State, then Houston, then San
50-50.
Antonio, then OKC, then Denver, then them. They're never doing that.
I hear you.
You're
I
playing
hear you.
Denver, then you're playing the Knicks.
I
then
don't-
you're playing Golden State, then you're playing Orlando. Then you're playing, like, it's a huge difference, bro.
I hear you. I just don't agree that he'll go down as the most underrated. If anything,
I said it. Yo, bro, when you look at his numbers, he's going to damn near average a 30-plus point triple-double for his career.
he's not gonna average a triple double.
He's going to damn near average a 30-point triple-double for his career. He's going to average like 30 points, 8 or 9 rebounds, and 8 or 9 assists for his career. And this should be his 4th MVP.
Russell Westbrook is putting up.
Is what I'm
crazy
saying.
numbers, too.
Is what I'm saying. At the end of his career, when you look at it, he's gonna be in that class of these dominant upper echelon players, and we don't give him that credit.
Offensively, I think we give him credit offensively. I think they give him more than enough credit. I will say, in my opinion, Russell Westbrook will go down as one of the most underappreciated players because look what he's doing, and I feel like all we've done is preach LeBron.
People be,
Homeboy's average a triple double. He's gonna average a triple double for the 3rd consecutive year.
but to me, that triple double is a fake stat. Because
How?
even the year that Russ got, because it's a creative stat, it doesn't mean anything. Like the year that Russ got the MVP.
I don't agree with
The
that.
year that Russ got the MVP was because of the triple doubles. Now, Harden averaged more points, more assists, but averaged like 8.9 rebounds instead of 10. So you averaged 10 rebounds just to give you that triple dub, but he averaged more points, more assists, shot better from the field, shot better from 3, shot better from field goal, and had a better record than your team, and had a worse team.
Who's a better player, in your opinion?
James Harden.
He's a better player
Yes.
overall.
Yes.
Overall.
Yes. Russ is an athlete. The
Better,
same thing
better
with LeBron.
defender.
The same thing with LeBron. LeBron is the best athlete of all time. We've never seen anyone 6'9". Well, Zion, but remove him. We've never seen anyone 6'9", 270, runs a 4.4, has a 50-inch vertical. We've never seen that. So athletically, if you put LeBron in the NFL, he's probably the best tight end ever. If you fucking put him in hockey, he's probably just because his physical attributes
The only thing
dominate
only
anyone.
thing I can see James Harden has over Russell Westbrook, he's a better shooter.
No, he's a better basketball player.
I don't think so.
Skills,
I disagree.
bro. Basketball
disagree.
skills. Son,
I disagree.
Russ is a freak. Russ runs fast, jumps higher, is stronger than Harden, and all of that. But skills, shooting,
I really
ball
wish I could
handling.
contribute to this.
He's
but
a
I can't.
willing defender. He plays defense. People got to get this misconception, and I wish Iran was here because he's the main one that be pumping. He's James Harden is among the leaders in steals. So what? So is Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson couldn't check a mailbox. They are great anticipators in the play in the passing
His
lanes.
on-ball defense
That's not
has
defense.
improved tremendously the past couple years. Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Nah.
It has. It's improved tremendously
has
the past
not.
couple years. Yes, it has, bro. Come
We got
on.
to pull up them stats.
Keep it real. We have.
Nah.
It's hard to come up with a stat that can quantify on-ball defense. It's
He
very
does not.
hard.
He is not a willing defender, dude.
And when I'm
Uncanny offensive player.
I'm
Uncanny.
I'm not saying he's
Uncanny.
I'm not saying he's first team all defense. What I
He
said
is not
in the
13.
past-
He's
in
no
the
team.
past couple seasons, his defensive efficiency has improved dramatically.
How?
He plays way better defense.
No, he
he plays
doesn't.
much
I'm
better
sorry.
defense. Yes, he does.
I'm
bro.
sorry. I'm not
Yes, he
sure.
does.
Maybe in 2K. Maybe when you play him in 2K.
I don't play
You
that
fuck
shit.
with that shit.
I
Nah,
don't
not
play
in
that
real
shit.
life. James
You're
Harden, in
bugging.
my opinion, he's gonna go down
You
as one
haven't
of the
been
most
watching.
overrated players.
You're bugging. You haven't been watching, bro. Like,
Overrated.
keep it real. You have.
I have.
There's no way that you can compare 5 years ago James Harden's defense and this year's James Harden defense, bro. No way. No way.
I've
The same way
watched it.
the same way KD's defense has dramatically improved over the past few seasons, James Harden's defense
I
has
don't think-
dramatically improved. Is he a first team all defender? Absolutely.
I don't think
not.
that's a fair comparison because Kevin Durant has always been a person who set his principles on defense. Even Kobe Bryant, your man, said it when he said they played against each other. He was like, he's never played against a player who had that length on him, who can deter a shot and catch up. Like
What
he
I'm
was.
saying is, but that's
but
God-given
James
ability.
Harden-
You're just that tall and you're that like that. That's not like effort.
I believe James Harden does not put in that much effort on defense.
I
And
don't
that's
know if
why.
you guys are gonna get anywhere. So how are you guys gonna determine who's like right?
James Harden's the
metrics are you
MVP.
using?
He should be the MVP. This should be his fourth. He's not going to get it. They're going to give it to Giannis because Giannis fits the agenda of the NBA. He's an international player. He's squeaky clean.
I
He
think he
doesn't go to
deserves
the.
it.
He does not.
I think he
He
deserves
does
it.
not. You're playing in a fucking junior varsity conference with nobody.
Nah, I think it's a bit more competitive
Yes,
now.
your first round opponent in the playoffs is going to be 6 games under 500. That's a cupcake conference, man.
No.
Nobody from the East should get MVP. This is a cupcake conference, man.
I
the
don't agree
8
with
seed,
that.
the 8 seed is going to finish the year 6 games under 500, man. Come on.
Okay.
James Harden's about to play against fucking Sacramento in the first round of the playoffs, man. Come on. This is a cupcake league, man.
So he's gonna deserve-
Average fucking nigga got 30 for what 40 straight games, man. You bugging, man. 50-point trip dubs. You bugging. You talking about somebody can't play defense? Giannis can't shoot a lick.
He shoot better. He shoot better than Ben Simmons.
Come on.
I'll
You
rely on
you
that
gonna
shot.
give- you gonna
I'll rely on
compare-
that
you
shot.
gonna compare him to the worst shooter in the league.
I'll
Somebody
rely
who
on
ain't
that
hit one
shot.
three. No, it ain't.
So here's the thing. If Giannis, you talking about Giannis' shot, you have to talk about his compare that to James Harden's lack of defensive ability.
What I'm saying is his defense is way better than Giannis'
I'll take
jump shot.
Hey, I can live with Giannis not having a shot because I know what he'll give me on defense. James Harden can't make a shot. What can he give you?
And lead the league in steals. He's not gonna play on ball.
What can he give
but
you?
The NBA isn't on ball defense anymore. Like that's not.
You
the
got to
league.
stop somebody.
Man.
You
listen,
say he's the most underrated. I say he's going to go down as the most
I
overrated.
say at the end of his career, he could be the most underrated player of all time because this should be his 4th MVP. One of Steph's and Russ's MVP should be his. He got one last year. That was his 3rd. This year should be his 4th. Hands down. Hands down.
No, I'm good.
That triple-double year, Russ should not have gotten it, bro. He should not have gotten it. And one of them Steph years, they should not have got it. The 73-9 Steph year, yeah, he should have got it. That other year was Harden. For real. Yes. Look at the numbers, bro.
Well, I will say this, my unpopular opinion. James Harden is the most overrated player in the league. You heard it here on First on Unpopular Opinions.
Where? The most
Episode 28.
probably the most talented offensive player
Doubtful.
in the league by
Shout out to
far.
Q.
What up?
Shout out to Raul, right? Shout out to Reef with that blasphemous statement. Shout out to Raine.
Shout out to McCray.
Shout out to McCray, I guess. Shout out to them XL Boys, champions 2019.
Mhm.
We out of here.
Hey, yay.
You got more
Great,
Deucey?
guys.
Thanks. You got more Deucey, though?
Thanks.
4th MVPs, man. It should be.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
It should be his 4th. There's no way in the world Giannis should get MVP playing.
But there's no way in the world. Come on, man. James Harden, he's having a great season, but Giannis is definitely in the conversation. He deserves
I'm not
it.
saying he's not in the
I mean,
conversation.
either
Yes,
way,
he
I
should
wouldn't
finish
be,
second.
I wouldn't be upset. However, because I know I made that case, but like even though saying Giannis should get it, I wouldn't be upset if Harden were to get it. But
He should get
it needs to be spoken. Like you have to be a willing defender. This time, this
Bro.
year, I've had he, and that's just the NBA. That's just the
son.
NBA.
You have not seen that this